get my shades on. I got to get prepared for the television show, Robin. Let's try to remember we're on TV as well. Your mic not on?
No.
Yes, it is.
The light's not on.
Yeah, the light's burned out.
Oh.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do I'm going to open the show talking about O.J. Simpson. I got plenty to say.
You're putting on your shades. I was just going to say that a lot of people are faxing that you should take off your shades and give them to Fred. Your eyes are pretty, but Fred's are frightening.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people seeing Fred on TV are very upset. In fact, you know what? We have a montage from the first show of just Fred making weird facial tics.
Really?
Yeah, that we should just feature right now. We should probably just put that on TV right now.
See, that's a show I don't get because I'm looking at Fred's back.
Yeah, it's just Fred during the show makes weird faces, evidently. I didn't know this. But the camera guys, evidently, some of them who are watching the cameras, we have robot cameras in the studio, and they're watching Fred's face during this on one camera, and they say, Fred, they said they're fascinated. There's a lot of Fred fans back there who just watch Fred's camera.
They're fascinated by Fred.
Yeah, they just watch Fred's faces. And they said, yeah, he's really busy doing a lot of faces. Evidently, a lot of people reacting to that. You have a face mate, Fred, you have a face mate for TV. That's right. In fact, 3 of the technicians are suing Fred because they are convinced Fred hypnotized them during the show. Yeah, with his amazing powers. I got to make sure I have my hair placed properly.
Well, while you're worried about your hair and your makeup, you got Ralph back there working on you every morning. Jackie simply sits in the sun.
Yeah, Jackie bakes.
A good tan.
Jackie bakes. Yeah, and he looks like Leatherhead.
So he's nice and red this morning.
Nice and red and bulbous. Shining and shining and shining. Yeah, the TV show got reviewed in the newspaper as well. Here's one okay review, not so good review. And here's one great review by John Podhoretz. Whatever, is that how you say his name? John Podhoretz?
I haven't looked at it. Is it Horitz or Harris?
Podhoretz. Podhoretz. He gave us 3.5 stars. And
ooh.
I don't know, I did a lot of yelling and screaming Sunday about what I thought was wrong with the TV show and what was right with the TV show, but we're working it out. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's the radio show, but it's got to be shot right and edited right, and I've got to be funny, so we all have our jobs.
All right.
You know what I mean? But we're coming along with that. Right now I'm a little bit furious with the E! Network.
Why?
Well, they're real excited that I have a TV show on their network and everything because it's good for them. It's a nightly television show. But
it's new programming.
It's new programming. It's not Ed McMahon's Star Search. So
not the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
All right, you know what? Let me take a commercial break. Let me write down everything we got to talk about today. I want to talk about O.J. Simpson. You know what? I can't believe how lame television is when it comes to analyzing the O.J. Simpson story. Let me put the proper spin and tell people what to think.
Okay.
We'll do that
I did
first.
think it was fascinating television.
Very good television, and I'll tell you why.
You got to thank O.J. O.J. should win an Emmy this year.
Yeah, this is finally O.J.'s first good role. It was fantastic television because, as I've always said to you, Robin, good television is where you don't know the outcome. That's why
right.
people love sporting events.
Yes.
It's one of those things that has a plot, you know how it's played, but you just never know what the end is going to be.
And what was funny was O.J. was up against a sporting event.
And he won, I'm sure.
He beat it.
He beat it.
Yes.
But I must say, NBC television has got to be whacked out of their brains. NBC television, I don't know who runs it, I don't know who's in charge, but didn't they learn, I guess it was the Jet game, it was called the Heidi Experience, or whatever it was called. The Jets were playing, I think, in 1969, was it? I don't know when.
That seems a little late.
The Jets, the New York Jets, were in the Super Bowl, and NBC was scheduled to have the Heidi movie on their network right after the Jet game. Unfortunately, the Jet game went late. It looked like the Jets were going to lose because it was the end of the game. They were down. They just cut away to start Heidi on time. The Jets somehow miraculously won, and none of the fans saw it. They ended up seeing Heidi.
Right.
It was unbelievable. As a result now, they have a knowledge of how to handle sporting events. No matter what is happening, let the fans see the game all the way through.
Right.
Even if it's fait accompli, that everyone's going to go away. So they run sporting events all the way through. So what happened? The Knicks game was on. It was an important game. The Knicks could have taken it all. The Rockets ended up winning. Oh, no, the Knicks won.
The Knicks couldn't have taken it all that night.
Right, but the Knicks won.
Yeah.
It was a big game, close game, whatever.
It was a very important game.
Very important game. And O.J. Simpson's story breaks. There are 97 channels covering O.J. Simpson, and NBC is freaking out.
What do we do?
What do we do? What do we do? They cut away. During the third period, they cut away, and they were actually on the scene with O.J. This is a classic blunder. There are fans who don't care about O.J. If they're going to... In fact, you can make a good argument that if you're going to switch away to O.J. during the game, you're telling all the people who are interested in the game, hey, you better switch to another channel where they're covering O.J. all the time.
That's right.
What you do is you run the sporting event. Well, unless if O.J. was announcing, if he was president of the United States and was announcing World War III, maybe then I could understand cutting away from a game. Maybe under those circumstances I could understand that. But this NBC must be cracked. They really must be cracked. I want the name of the guy who runs that, who made that decision. I want to know. I bet you it was that Warren Littlefield. The same nitwit who said what, Robin?
That you don't belong on TV. Somehow he said that.
Yeah. And this is the guy who lost David Letterman and put on Jay Leno instead. How he wasn't fired, I don't know. Well, I never saw a sporting event handled in such a manner. I mean, it's unbelievable. They didn't learn anything from the Heidi experience. And sports fans have a right to be pissed off.
Apparently they got a lot of calls.
Right.
Because people didn't want to see O.J. They wanted to see the Knicks if they were on that station.
O.J. was great television, though. I went to sleep early. I had to get up and write my movie, go over a meeting.
You had to go to sleep on O.J.?
I had to go to sleep on O.J., as impossible as it seems. Unfortunately, O.J. didn't shoot himself. But,
you think that would have been a good culmination?
Oh, Robin.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. See, there's always the possibility of more now with O.J., a sequel.
What if the networks paid enough money, let O.J. spring himself from jail, and go ahead, get back in the car.
Now we got sequel opportunity.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about O.J. Simpson. Let me write down what else we're going to talk about. O.J. Simpson, and I want to talk about the TV show reviews.
That's right, okay.
All right. Anybody coming in today, Phony?
Yeah, big actor coming in today.
Oh, I don't know who it is. Is it a mystery?
Yeah, no, it's on the. It's. I guess we can say it. It's Eric Roberts.
Oh yeah, Eric Roberts.
Oh, cool.
Julia Roberts' brother. That's how you have to introduce him. Julia Roberts' brother.
It used to be that she was his sister. Now he's her brother.
Yeah. But Eric said he doesn't want to be on TV.
Right.
What's his deal?
I don't know. Maybe he'll change his mind when he gets here.
Yeah, maybe he'll change his mind. I'll see it's kind of mellow.
Maybe it's one of those Julio Iglesias things. He has to have the right lighting or the right side shot.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll find out.
He's a pretty cool actor and everything, Eric Roberts. Unfortunately, you don't see him in a lot of stuff anymore.
I think he did something to his career. We can find out later exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah, good.
He did. He had a little run-in with the law a couple of years ago, too.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, Eric Roberts could be O.J.
Well, I don't want to say anything.
You want to know what I was thinking during the O.J. thing? Did you expect it to be like Darryl Strawberry? If it was going to be a sports guy to lose his mind.
That I could understand.
Yeah.
Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, some of those other Mets.
The great thing about this is no one expected O.J. to wig out. In fact, there's picture after picture after picture in the newspaper today of O.J. with different bombshell beauties.
Did you see that girl he went out with the night before?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Oh.
Yeah, like a Halle Berry type.
Oh.
Well, she was, what's her name? Barbieri. Something Barbieri.
Anybody with a name Barbieri has got to be good. Barbieri. Barbuti.
She's been on the cover of Vogue. I mean, this is a top model.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, did you see, this was the best. And then we got to take a break.
All right, we really do have to take a break.
Because I'm going to get to all this. But O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. Somewhere they were saying now, they couldn't take a plea of black rage. They were saying black...
There's no such plea.
No. Black, the defense was going to be black... No, something like that.
Black confusion.
I wrote it down what it is. Let me go get my notes. It was black... If you ever want to see my notes, how I prepare for the show,
yes.
Here's my money clip.
And your notes are in there?
My notes are right in there, as you can see.
Don't scrimp on paper, do you?
There it is. He was calling it...
And who was this?
I don't know. I got it all written down. Oh, black stress. Black stress.
OJ doesn't have black stress.
How does that differ from white stress?
I said he hasn't been... Yeah, well, first of all, I said... Black stress. He hasn't been black for the last 20 years.
I would say some homeless guy might have black stress.
Yeah.
Not OJ up in Brentwood in a mansion.
No, it might be black stupidity, but it's certainly not black stress because this guy was not under any black stress.
What was the stress? He was dating up a storm.
And as Baba Booey just said, what about white stress?
Absolutely. Everybody's got stress. Why do we have to put a label on it now, black stress?
When you're fighting to get out of jail or to explain away what the hell you just did, you come up with black stress.
I am so sick of this excuses of, for whatever behavior because your skin is black. It's ridiculous.
I would have pled too many perfect women syndrome.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
That might make him go kablooey. But let me comment on O.J. Simpson in a long form fashion right after these words.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Okay. Now, let's talk. You want to talk about O.J.?
Sure.
All right. Because that's what everyone's talking about, and people don't even know what to think. First of all, let me compliment the beautiful, vivacious, and someone who I've always felt was very talented, Cindy Garvey. Oh. Cindy Garvey.
What did she do?
Well, I'll explain. What, are you in a rush?
No, I just can't imagine how her name came up.
Take a look at her.
No.
Yeah. I always was outraged when Cindy Garvey was fired unceremoniously from the Regis Philbin show.
What'd she do, ask for more money?
Yeah, she said, gee, Regis is getting an awful lot of cash here. Do you think I could get some money, too? And evidently that was not in the cards. So they hired that yenta Kathy Lee Gifford. Personally, I could hack Cindy Garvey a lot more than Kathy Lee Gifford, but what do I know? What do I know? But, people, I don't think anybody ever thought about Cindy Garvey as being particularly bright or brainy. And if you saw her on Larry King, did you see her Friday night?
No, I did not.
She came on and she said a couple of things. The first thing she said was, now this was they had just read on TV the suicide note about O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson left this long, rambling letter about this is the end, pretty much, and it would lead one to believe that he was about to go out and commit suicide. So Cindy Garvey's on Larry King, and she said, first of all, what the hell is all this sorrow for O.J. Simpson? There's a woman dead. Thank you. There's a woman dead. There's a guy, an innocent guy, a 20-something, 25-year-old guy dead. Model guy dead. And the evidence is stacking up pretty good against O.J. And everyone's, O.J., poor O.J., poor O.J. Screw O.J.
Well, the best was all those people on the sidelines, on the roadway, cheering and hey, go Juice.
Go Juice. And in a way, O.J. was getting everything he wanted in life. Think about this for a second. O.J. made his career. The best part of O.J.'s life was when he was running down that football field and he was carrying the ball and everyone was screaming, go Juice, go Juice. Now, for the first time in a long time, he was going down the field, the highway, in his car as people screamed, go Juice, go Juice, go Juice. In a way, it was unbelievable for him. Hey, Fred, am I going to see your face the whole show? I don't know what happened to our balance, but now I see you the whole time. What happened to our...
Where are you, Fred, that you're not?
No, I never used to be able to see Fred's eyes or head, and somehow Fred is up higher. What?
I'm sitting exactly where I normally sit.
I know, but why am I seeing you?
They move this thing back is what happened.
It's back.
So
I see.
No. You have to move. I think you have to move it closer to you.
The more closer I move it, the more I see you.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think if you move it closer to you, you won't see me.
The people are right. You're frightening. I mean, I'm looking at you the whole time. It's very distracting.
I saw the videotape. I didn't see myself.
Did you used to have things? Did you used to have things piled up in front of your face?
Yeah, but the guys from E came in and moved everything.
I don't care what they do. I can't look at you during the show.
I think that they're looking to get those Fred reaction shots.
I don't care. I'm not looking at Fred for the whole show.
You're acting like I'm the one who...
Gary, bring in a paper bag that Fred may wear it during this
you wear the show. You wear the paper bag.
No, you're wearing a paper bag. I don't need to wear the paper bag. I'd still see you.
Well, that's your problem.
No, you can cut the eyes out.
Wear a blindfold.
I need to see.
Well,
You don't.
take it off during the
No, seriously, can you just put something up?
No, I mean...
No, sir, it's distracting me is what I'm saying. Can you put something up?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Just put some carts or something up in front of your face.
Okay.
All right, good.
Thank you. Makes me feel good.
No, it has nothing to do. I don't care if Cindy Crawford was sitting there, Fred. It has nothing to do with making you feel good. I don't want to look at anyone but Robin.
You're quite beautiful, really.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You wear that, Jeff.
That'd be good. Put that up.
There you go.
Thank you.
Another steak,
Thank
please?
you. No, it has nothing to do with it being you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think it does.
We're out of paper bags, but plastic would be wrong,
Fred,
right?
you know, better yet, could you put up this? Just try it on, will you?
No, I heard
We won't
about
tie
that.
the bottom.
I won't. You don't have to.
It's not a toy.
Let me see if this works better.
No, I don't
Would
think
you
so.
rather look at Woolworths?
Just for a second, let me say.
No, I don't think so.
Fred.
It's very dangerous.
For a second?
For a second. Let me just see how it
right
looks.
here. Warning, to avoid danger of suffocation, keep away from babies and children. Do not use cribs, beds, carriages, or playpens.
Just try it for a second.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. And now it's free advertising. Okay, for 1 second.
Yeah, right, for 1 second. Thank you.
This is going to make it. Hold on.
See, I can work
Is
that
that
way.
better?
That is better. That's a lot better. If you would just wear that, I wouldn't have to stare at you.
There you go.
All right, thank you, Fred. All right. Hey, give Fred that. Maybe that would be better. Here's something else you could try. Try this.
Try that.
Yeah.
Better?
Now that's okay.
Maybe we should put that on a stick.
Yeah.
So that Fred can just hold that.
All right, I'll put up this sign now, and that'll be just fine.
Boy.
Thank you. I don't want to see Fred when I work.
Sorry.
I don't want to see Jackie. I don't want to see anybody.
He just built the Berlin Wall in front of Fred.
There you go. Jeez.
I'm
I
sorry.
think there's a message being sent here, but I'm not sure what it is.
Stay out of my face. All right, anyway, Robin. Where was
You're really
I?
afraid of Fred.
Yeah, I don't like looking. It's very disturbing looking at Fred. I can't explain it to
Let's
the people.
analyze this.
I can't explain it.
Well, you should be able to.
Well, maybe I better take.
Explain everything else.
What?
I hope the camera can get a shot of me now.
I don't know if it can.
The guys can come in and tell me, but
Put it
Because I
on
was
the
just
side.
wondering where the camera is that's
No, but if
shooting
you turn it
from
on the
that
side, then it's going to be just as low as it was.
no, I got this under control. As long as the camera can get me.
Right.
All right. Now I got to get the microphone to stay still. The microphone just moves. Look, on its own.
Oh,
look
wonderful.
at this. Look. So I can't. I can't do this show
Using
anymore.
the microphone in
Yeah.
order to do the show.
It pans my face. I can't get it to stay. There's such garbage equipment in here. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's
Every
laughable.
day you come in, there's something different that is annoying.
Can someone take a note that we're going to need to fix this microphone stand that I cannot literally get it to stay? It just will not. Look at this. Look at what I'm with. This is a show that makes millions of dollars, and I don't have a microphone that stays. Okay.
No, it's staying.
Yeah, but now I can't see you.
Don't
so
touch
good.
it.
Wait, I'll touch this. Okay, very good. Where was I? Oh, Cindy Garvey. So, in talking about O.J. Simpson, Larry King puts on Cindy Garvey. After all, she was married to Steve Garvey, who was supposedly giving her mental abuse, not physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what guy doesn't give his wife mental abuse?
I would say that that's pretty prevalent. You're even an offender.
I'm an offender of that. I'm a big fan of that.
Fan?
Keeps my wife in line.
Oh, you.
Mental abuse.
Why is it you feel you have to keep your wife in line?
Oh, otherwise she gets out of control.
What does she do? What is she going to do that's so horrible?
Don't sidetrack me.
Well, we'll get back to
All
that.
right, we'll write that down and
All
get
right.
back to it.
I want to ask that question.
Good. That's you're perfectly entitled, but it's not your time yet.
Okay.
I really want to talk about O.J. Simpson. I have a lot on my mind.
Well,
about
go on with this Cindy Garvey line.
So Cindy Garvey comes on, and they say to her, well, it looks like O.J. Simpson's going to kill himself. Now, if you can take yourself back to Friday night, it sure as hell looked like he was going to kill himself, and it would have made sense if he killed himself.
In fact, when it first started, I thought he had gone somewhere and already done it.
So had I. So Cindy Garvey gets on. They say, do you think O.J.'s going to be found dead? And she said, I'm going to tell you something, Larry. By the way, Larry King now is so out of it, he's calling Cindy Garvey Cynthia Garvey, the whole interview. Doesn't even call her by her right name. Cynthia Garvey, he's calling her.
So he doesn't prepare for the show at all anymore.
No.
Doesn't even learn the person's name.
As my father said, I think Larry King has lost interest in doing anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Except dating women and
Right.
proposing to them.
Yeah, he needs the show to get the dates. Because if you look at his face, he ain't going to get a date without that show.
He knows he has to hold on to some kind of media outlet.
Right. As funny as this face is, I know if I'm going to keep everyone, I got to have a show. Larry knows that too, I think. Anyway, Cindy Garvey says to Larry point blank, oh no, Larry, O.J. Simpson
has not shot himself, nor will O.J. Simpson shoot himself, because any man who is a wife abuser, a beater of women, is a coward. So Larry goes, and she goes, I guarantee you, O.J. Simpson doesn't have the guts to pull the trigger on himself.
Absolutely.
So I listened, I said, boy, oh boy, man, she's something else, this woman, but who knows? I started thinking, I said, I think she's right. And sure enough, there you saw him in the car with a gun to his head, and so pull the...
That was so funny. I said, you know what? This is the kind of shot they use in those stupid parody movies all the time, of a guy with a gun to his own head threatening the police. Don't come any closer.
Do you remember the Mel Brooks, the classic Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles?
Yes, that's right.
The black guy is holding up a gun to his own head. There's a whole mob around him ready to lynch him, and he yells out, nobody make a move, or this is a one dead nigger. The guy goes, and the nigger's going to be dead.
And he gets himself out of the situation holding the gun to his own head.
If any of you white people make a move, this nigger is dead.
Stay back.
And he's holding a gun to his own head.
Yes.
Like somebody cared.
One false move.
One false move.
Didn't they remember that O.J. was in show business?
Yeah. In fact, I wish he had turned in this good a performance in Towering Inferno, or whatever the hell he was in. So... Was he in Towering Inferno? I think so.
One of those disaster movies. Which one was it?
Yeah.
Might have been Towering Inferno.
Listen, I'm proud to say that O.J. still sits on the board of this radio station. Believe it or not, even though he's in prison.
There's not another election yet, I don't think.
This is the same company that keeps Greaseman on the air. Why not keep O.J. around?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. No matter how much of a disaster, keep him around.
I kept waiting to see Infinity Broadcasting in the story.
Thank God it wasn't.
It was kept out.
No, O.J. is on the board of directors of this company that we work for, and I think it's very good that we keep him on the board of directors because...
we have to have a black representative.
We need a black... Listen, it's hard to find a black guy to sit on the board. Well, O.J. really was the black guy on the board, so we're going to find another one. I think it's going to be Colin Ferguson, who shot all the white people on the Long Island Railroad. I thought it was
Don't you think we ought to stay out of the courts for a while?
I think it was good we fired Meg Griffin, the disc jockey, and kept O.J. I think that was good planning. No, but it's we are a company that believes even though someone's a disaster like the Greaseman, we stick with him. You stick by him.
You support people to the bitter end.
That's right. Even as O.J.'s in the chair, he can be comfortable knowing we will keep him.
They will be calling him for decisions.
He will be on the board of directors of Infinity Broadcasting.
O.J., we need a vote.
Well, I'm sure everyone knows we couldn't have predicted O.J.'s dilemma. Anyway.
No, he acted very charming when he was in those board meetings.
Charming. He was delightful, Rob. Robin was even impressed.
In fact, it was so funny because one of the things I was reading this weekend said O.J. was the kind of black guy even white racists felt comfortable around.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, the Ku Klux Klan is in mourning. They said, how could this be O.J., the one black guy we like? So anyway, let me tell you about O.J. Simpson. So Cindy Garvey says this, and he's standing around with a gun to his head and all this and the other thing. And police arrest him, and the funniest thing I thought was, holy cow, this guy is on suicide watch. They got him now in prison on suicide watch. I said, what kind of suicide watch? The guy had 24 hours with guns to commit suicide. This is a guy who's not going to commit suicide. Suicide watch. What's he going to do in prison? How's he going to kill himself? Bang his head against the bars?
It was so funny. They said they even took his shoelaces and the sheets away.
All right. Now,
so that he can't do anything.
Let me tell you, like he's going to do something. This guy isn't going to do anything. Cindy Garvey was absolutely right. This Cindy Garvey...
That note was the most ridiculous suicide note I've ever read.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me say I'm innocent. And poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me.
Yeah, right.
Poor me.
Well, anyway, they got him in prison now under suicide watch. Why, I don't know. I guess he's going to eat the toilet bowl and kill himself.
Well, it's some kind of stupid suicide watch. He's in a cell, okay, 7 by 9 foot cell.
Yeah.
With a big metal door on it and a little itty-bitty window.
Yeah, like Hannibal Lecter.
He's in there by himself most of the time anyway.
Right.
They come and look in the window every once in a while.
Let's see, did he commit suicide? No? Well, I done watch.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, okay. Now, let me tell you who the real villain is in the O.J. Simpson story. Now, this is what people need to know.
Oh, there's a real villain besides O.J.?
Good thing I do a radio show. What would anybody have to think about all day?
Well, they'd be thinking the wrong thoughts, obviously.
Right. They need me to program them. What of who the real villain is. How do you identify a villain in this story? Is the villain O.J.? Is the villain, I don't know, the wife? Did she drive him crazy? Is the villain society? Is the villain the high school football coach who coached O.J.? Who is the villain in this? Now, let me tell you about our society. Right now, there are a lot of battered women who don't have the celebrity of being married to an O.J. Simpson. And every day in the courts, you have a situation where these batteries come up and nobody knows what to do. In the case of O.J. Simpson, here is a guy who not only beat his wife on 8 occasions, but on one occasion they
You don't know how many occasions. You know there were 8 phone calls to the police.
Who knows? It could have been tons.
They don't start calling the police until it gets really, really bad.
Right. Robin is an expert. I've hit her a few times.
I know how to take a punch.
I beat you with my shoe. So anyway, the real villain in this is the judge who saw O.J. Simpson in court. Now hear me out. This O.J. Simpson is brought into court. The woman that he is married to, he's got a broken lip, her face is bashed in. It's clear that he has beaten her. And I guess this judge felt, wow, it's O.J. Simpson. Maybe he was a football fan. But he let this guy, O.J. Simpson, not only pay a few bucks to get out of this. What O.J. should have done was jail time, which the judge would have been fine in committing O.J. Simpson. Same way they took Leona Helmsley and made an example of her. Take O.J. Simpson, throw the friggin' book at him. Not only would he have thought twice now he said, holy cow, I'm O.J. Simpson. I lost all my endorsement deals. I'm in prison.
Maybe for that one little 30-day jail term?
You bet. It might have
awakened O.J.
Oh, you bet. Listen, it's better than what they did. Listen to what this judge did. He let O.J. Simpson... They said, you got to go see a psychiatrist. He says, well, listen, I got to do a lot of road trips for my job. He says, you know what, just call the psychiatrist on the phone. The judge made a joke out of the whole thing. The judge let him pay off a couple of bucks to get out of it. Where do you see a guy beats his wife, he pays a couple of bucks, he gets out of it? Where do you see that? How does a judge sleep at night doing something like that? Did the judge not have any compassion for this woman who was getting her face bashed in? You see what's wrong? They will never... I have not read one newspaper article indicating who this judge was that allowed this to happen. And now we should not only... I would like somebody to tell me the judge's name. I would like to see this judge removed from the bench. That is what's... never mind the FCC going after me because I might say penis on the air. Forget about that.
The FCC would have been, if they had been brought into a room with O.J. Simpson, they'd have all been smiling and shaking his hand and asking for autographs.
The FCC would have said, well, O.J.'s a great guy. He doesn't say penis.
Yeah.
He's a good role model.
Oh, so he beat his wife a little bit.
Was the judge blind? O.J. was hitting that fine blonde piece. And, first of all, okay, it wasn't even an ugly woman O.J. was beating. You'd like a look at that beautiful woman. What? I mean, the judge would have to be blind.
Were you saying he would have been justified if she had been ugly?
If O.J. had beaten some slob, it might have been okay, all right?
See, this is where you're wrong.
Under the law. I might be off on that.
See, now you're joking about
let me say something.
Violence.
Yes, in all seriousness, once in a while I get thrown a joke around. In all seriousness, let's start with our good-looking women. And
absolve them of battery.
No, in all seriousness, someone has got to now say a judge has poor judgment. This guy is not fit to sit on the bench. I haven't seen one reporter come out about the judge. I haven't seen any television newscaster say they should hold up his picture like a criminal.
That is not exactly true. They had a show on ESPN.
ESPN? That's worse than where this show is.
Or maybe it was CNN, one of their sports shows.
Right.
Because there was a sports call-in show, like right after all this, or during all this O.J. coverage.
Yeah.
And they had that Gloria Allred on, and she was saying exactly these things.
Oh, was she?
Yes, absolutely. That you got to find this judge. Yeah, I mean, even the prosecutor, she said, because at the time of the case, the prosecutor only asked for 30 days in jail,
where do you
and
see
he
that?
wanted court-supervised counseling.
Yeah, court-supervised. Listen, this guy should have been treated like a criminal, O.J. Simpson, thrown in jail where he would have sobered up a little bit. He probably would have lost his Hertz deal. He would have lost
there would have been a big wake-up call.
Big wake-up call, and maybe this woman would have stood a chance against this bully, this O.J. Simpson. And I'll tell you something. I've never seen anything like it. It was so...
But unfortunately, you try to explain to people, because what I heard when this first occurred, when I remembered that he had battered her in 1989 and pleaded no contest, I immediately said, O.J.'s guilty.
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to said, you cannot make the leap from beating your wife once to stabbing her and slitting her throat. And I have tried to explain to people that leap. Never, ever, ever call the police the first time you're hit.
How do you know so much? Come here. Come over here for a second. I gotta
check my face for bruises.
You know what? Yeah. I want to see if someone was beating you over the weekend.
No one ever calls the first time. It starts with verbal abuse, which escalates to physical abuse, which continues to increase.
Never mind that, Robin. Let's point out the other real villain. The Los Angeles storekeepers that sell knives and gardening equipment to black people. Now,
here we go.
Now
there's a leap.
You're leaping.
Take a big leap.
If you're leaping, I'm going to leap. All right.
I can't get garden equipment anymore?
You should not be trusted with yeah, why would you need gardening equipment? What do you care if you can get it? Anyway, then I'm reading about... All right, I'll continue this. Let me take a break, okay? And then I want to talk some more about O.J. Simpson and what I've been reading. And this law I'm trying to get passed against blacks buying gardening tools. And you know you can have a white man buy you some gardening tools, Robin, if you really become desperate. All right.
We also have to talk about how you ended the Long Island Railroad strike.
Thank you. I'd like to replay my phone call to the governor's office.
Yes. Got him in gear.
Yes. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, I ended the Long Island Railroad strike, and I will detail that later. Scott, pull the tape about how I did that. I'd like to replay that. I'll be back with more thoughts on O.J. Simpson, your phone calls, and the big phone call made to Peter Jennings, I guess, that you heard about this.
You have that?
I have it.
I read about it. I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, I have it all for you. Don't tune away.
Peter Jennings, I always thought he was a very bright man.
It's a good weekend for me, ending that Long Island Railroad strike. Now, if I could only end the gay games and get rid of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, I'd be in business. I'd be everyone's hero.
Well, you were represented at the gay games as well. I understand that there was a gay run in Central Park.
Yes.
And Larry Melrose Green
was in it.
Ran the whole distance of whatever the race was with a Howard Stern sign.
Oh, did he? What is he doing in the gay games?
I don't know. He just decided to run to represent you, I suppose.
I see. I know he's not gay. At least I think he's not. No, as far as I know, he's not. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back right after these words.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
So now that we're doing a TV show, Ralph, the annoying hairdresser, is in here every minute fixing my hair, and it's like I like to use the time in the commercials to sort of take a moment to take a breather, collect your thoughts, think about what you want to do next. And now every minute it's Ralph, and Ralph hums behind me, makes commentary. He's right in on everything. And I like Ralph. Don't get me wrong. I like hanging out with Ralph.
I was surprised to see that big credit Ralph gets.
Oh, did he? I didn't see I don't get E-television, so I didn't see the show.
Howard's hair and makeup.
Oh, really? I thought it was you want to be known as a stylist.
Or something like that. Well, I know it was...
We'll get that straightened out.
Yeah, I saw the
hair
first...
and makeup stylist, baby.
Yeah, I saw the first show, and I want to change some of the microphones around and things like that. I've got a whole bunch of thoughts, but I'll discuss those with you later. We're on O.J. Simpson right now.
I won't bother you every break. It's just your hair's a little dry, and I just had to fix it up.
Yeah, I know, but you don't understand. I need some downtime away from you, Ralph.
Yeah. And if you do come in, don't hum. Or talk.
Well, he has this thing usually
I told you something important too, so.
Yeah, but you can go tell Gary that. You don't have to tell me.
Okay, yeah.
And he has an annoying voice. You know how he's like, yeah.
So, I'll speak louder.
That's better.
Okay.
And wear a bag over your head.
Yeah. Give that plastic bag to him. See how he looks.
I was watching the TV show when Ralph was on, and they didn't show Ralph's big purple tooth and gum. Do it now, maybe it'll get on tonight's show. Just do a big smile. Look at the black around the... Let me just do commentary while... Maybe they can even circle the tooth. Yeah, but smile bigger.
Okay.
All right. You see, not only is his tooth look funny, but it's got a big purple ring around it on the gum. An aura.
It's a glowing aura.
And there's... if you notice, there's to the upper, I guess, right hand of your screen...
Show your bottom teeth. Your teeth are pretty messed up, too.
Yeah, I noticed on the close-ups my bottom teeth look real bad. I'm going to go have Dr. Kaufman.
Go like this.
Let me see.
I'm going to have Dr. Kaufman fix him and bleach him.
Yeah.
Because it looks real bad. My lower teeth. I inherited my teeth genetics from my father, whose teeth are like green.
I'm going to have him fix mine, too.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know if he can get near that mouth. How long has it been since you've been to a dentist?
No, I went to him like 3 months ago and had a cleaning.
Okay.
I had a big meeting yesterday on the phone with the E! people, and I said, you guys are working a little too close to my face with the cameras. I said, this is not a face made for intense close-up scrutinization. I saw Tom Chiusano. I saw Tom Chiusano on the first E! show, and he looked absolutely beautiful. Fred was in here going...
No makeup, nothing.
Yeah, Fred goes, God, Tom's gorgeous. I said, yeah.
Everybody now sees what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Fred's in love with him.
It's unbelievable.
It's very difficult to work with Tom.
Yeah, it really is.
I see what Robin sees.
I saw what Robin saw a long time ago, but man, on TV, he's beautiful.
He is a perfect bone structure.
Yeah, he's a nice-looking guy.
Good skin color.
And me, they're on intense close-ups of my face, and my teeth look... I mean, I noticed my teeth, too. It was awful.
Really?
But at least my gums are good. You got gum disease.
It's just this one right here.
What did Dr. Kaufman say about your gums? Did he say that they're diseased?
No.
What did he say?
I needed a cleaning. I need another cleaning, too.
Yeah, maybe you need like 12 cleanings.
I need to be cleaned every day.
How many cleanings will it take before that area turns white?
Yeah, snaggletooth. Like, when will it start looking normal?
I don't know. Probably never.
Snagglepuss. And then, if you notice Ralph's berry, that's something you could remove.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't take it off. You think I should?
He's sort of attached to it, I think.
I think I should remove it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's you know what? It doesn't look so bad when I'm far away from you, but you get close, you see all it's red, and I don't know how close the camera can get on it. But here, let me use my pointer.
I was at a strip club one night. I never really think about it. I was at a strip club one night.
See, right here, if you get very close, it starts to look. It has dimension to it. It has
girth.
It's very well raised.
Yeah.
And you wonder exactly where it's attached.
I remember once, 4 years ago, Robin said, I was looking at it, I just want to take my fingernail and flick it off.
I know, and it's almost like a mood berry, because when he gets really upset, his face turns red and the berry turns purple.
Yes.
And like when he's happy, it's almost greenish in color.
What color is it now?
Right now, it's turning almost purple.
I'm not upset though.
Yeah, but I don't know. You might be a little flushed or embarrassed.
Nervous or something.
Plus, your berry was in the sun yesterday. That tends to throw it off.
I was sunning my berry.
Yeah.
I put a little sunblock on it so it wouldn't get too
I wish
red.
Gary, our producer, would take his big teeth and bite off Ralph's berry.
Ralph
There's a show.
To death.
Ralph's teeth are more rotten than OJ's marriage. Because look at this. Look, let me show the camera. What the hell? Let me show the camera.
Let this be a lesson to every child out there.
This tooth right here has.
It's done?
Yeah, that one has the ring around it. Look around the gum. But look at all the teeth over here. This row. Move your finger. They're almost green.
No, they're not.
Oh, take a look in the mirror.
No, I brush my teeth.
And you have that one fake tooth. Yeah. That's completely white, and all the rest are completely different color.
You know, like black guys have that big gold tooth? I'm doing something different. I have a big white tooth.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you get out of here? I really want to talk about O.J. Simpson, not you. I really don't want to talk about Ralph on today's show.
Just don't be annoying during the commercials.
Right. Don't annoy me, because it really... And you know what he does? He's like messing around with my hair, and he's like pulling on it and stuff, and I go, Ralph, dude... You don't understand something. The content of this show is more important right now than you fotzing with my hair, because he doesn't like the way it looks with the headphones on, and he wants a certain amount of hair cascading into my face.
I see.
And I could dig where he's coming from, but I need some downtime to sort of mellow out, and he's back there going, hey, man. And then I go, Ralph, can you quiet down? Oh, I'm sorry. I go, I'm asking you to quiet down because I'm trying to think. Oh, okay.
That was when I was doing your hair in the back this morning.
Yeah. Well, like, when I come in the morning, I want to read the newspaper, know what's going on.
I hung for 2 seconds.
And he's like,
I'm happy.
Yeah, and it's like the guy wants to badly be noticed, and he's got to understand, I can't talk to him then. It's not gonna, this whole thing isn't going to work.
You were talking to me. I didn't even say anything to you.
But he was being polite, probably.
Oh, dude. And then he goes like...
You love me.
Then I'm looking at O.J. Simpson stories, and they have different pictures of girls O.J. dated and great pictures of O.J.'s ex-wife, who's a real knockout.
Hey, now.
And Ralph's like behind me going, hey, now. And I'm like, dude.
Don't disturb.
Yeah, like, and you know, he's like a little kid. He looks at the pictures.
I didn't care what they said.
Hey, no. Yeah, she's dead, dude.
What a shame, man.
Yeah, that is a shame. All right, get out of here now.
All right, man.
All right, thank you. Anyway, let me begin my next dissertation on O.J. by playing this incredible piece of tape. I have not heard it yet.
This is the Peter Jennings call?
Yeah, this is the Peter Jennings. ABC obviously switched to covering O.J. Simpson because that was a big story. What is it, Papa Booey?
We
If you want, we have the guy who made the phone call.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Plus, we have another. It wasn't as national, but a very funny phone call that was also made to the news about you and OJ.
Oh, good. Okay. This was out of Los Angeles.
I wondered who made this call. It wasn't one of the regulars?
No.
In fact, yeah, we'll get everyone to... You know what? Let me take a little break, and I'll have a whole phone call presentation for you right after these words.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back.
I was just going to point out that you're wearing very dark glasses in a dark studio.
Well, the whole TV show thing is weird that we're taping the radio show for TV because I want to look handsome, and I saw a piece of tape of me wearing my regular glasses that I normally wear in here, and I didn't look handsome. I got to wear dark glasses, so it's a dark studio with dark glasses, and quite frankly, I'm near blind.
You don't care about your eyesight.
No. I want to look handsome.
You'd rather go blind.
Right. Thank you. Now you got it.
You got your priorities straight.
Thank you, Robin. What is it, Baba Phony?
We have two phone callers on the line. The first one, this guy right there, that's the guy that made the phone call to Peter Jennings on Friday night about the O.J. Simpson thing.
Okay.
Hello, gentle sir.
Oh, by the way, Robin, you had something you... hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Okay, give me a second here, Robin. You want to announce the name of the judge. I want Robin to... Now, don't announce it right this second.
Okay.
I want to first say something. If O.J. Simpson had the book thrown at him by this judge, O.J. came up before a judge. He had just beaten his wife's face in. The judge should have taken this. O.J.'s... I would love to interview this judge and say, what do you have, a hard-on for celebrities? I mean, what is... I hope that someday, if I ever get in trouble, I get you as a judge. If you're that enamored with celebrities. Because...
Well, you have to understand, he probably couldn't even get good counseling. The counselor. The psychiatrist, whoever he was talking to by phone. Oh, I'm talking to O.J.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is enamored of O.J. Simpson, and it's like, wow, a judge sees a woman all bloodied. I don't care who punches you, if a celebrity or non-celebrity, throw the book at the guy.
The law should be administered equally regardless of station.
I'm going to predict the judge is 1, white, 2, a football fan, and 3, too old to be in his position. Or something, because we are now going to announce the name of the judge.
I don't know his age.
He really should be disjudged.
Or whether he's a football fan, but his name is...
What is the word? Wait, no, we're gonna have a timpani and everything when you announce the name. What is it when like a lawyer gets disbarred? What is it? Disjudged?
I don't think that's the term.
Disrobed, defrocked, de-wigged, the judge. What is it that they do to a guy to throw him off the bench?
Unseat him?
Unseated. I know some of these judges, and I've never been able to figure this out. Some are appointed by politicians, and some are elected.
Yes, and I don't know which this would be.
Yeah, would you understand that whole thing? Like, how many judges are appointed by politicians? I mean, I've never gotten into that, nor do I care, but how come some of them have to run for re-election, and then some of them are appointed?
Yeah, the federal judges are appointed.
Right. I think state judges are elected.
But some of them have to be appointed. You don't vote for the chief judge or, you know, the guy who's on the appeals court.
Yeah, because I know when I vote for judges, they might maybe give you 5 different judges to vote for at the most, and there's tons of judges.
Yeah. So I don't think that all of them are elected.
But get this guy off the bench. Give him the hook if you have to, because someone has got to set an example to these judges that they must throw the book at people. I don't mean in stupid little cases. I'm talking about when a guy walks in and his wife is full of blood, and this guy has done it. If O.J. Simpson had been locked up for a month even, and that would have been a big story. O.J. in prison, he would have lost. There have
been repercussions.
He would have lost revenue. Who knew this guy had so much money? My God, you see the money he has just from Hertz Rent-A-Car?
Incredible money, and they paid for all of his vacations, so he didn't even have to spring for his own vacation.
What do you mean? How come? How did they pay for his vacation?
The vacations were just on Hertz.
You mean they just said, hey, we want to give you vacation?
That was part of his deal.
It said yesterday in Newsday that he and his wife and the kids would go to Hawaii every year for some long period of time. I don't know if there was a Hertz convention down there, but I mean, they would send him for a really long time.
Right.
He might be at the convention for a day.
Why am I not at a convention? Why am I not in Hawaii?
And there were other vacation spots he was often at. Vail.
Look at the life this guy had. I said, you think about his life. This is why people are amazed. You know, here's a guy who liked to play golf. He played golf almost every day with his buddies.
He even said goodbye to his golf friends in his suicide note.
The golf friends is going to be the thing that's hard to give up. That's the punishment. If O.J. had to give up his golf friends for a month, he would have thought long and hard about what he was doing.
It would have been pretty uncomfortable walking onto the green after having spent 30 days in jail.
When a guy beats his wife like O.J. Simpson and they don't give him jail time, they let him pay some money, which money was meaningless to him. And then he was laughing at the court. And then he says, "Oh, by the way, I work for NBC. I can't go to a psychiatrist. I got to make phone calls to the psychiatrist."
Very busy.
That's laughing at justice. How ironic is it that O.J. hurts other people? You know,
when I saw the Hertz, I was walking down the street the other day and I saw the Hertz sign. This was the same day that O.J. was in the car with the gun to his head.
Yeah.
I had to laugh.
Yeah, I know. And it's just weird, too, because if you wanted to get him out of the car, all they had to do Friday night was put up 2 goalposts at the end of the highway.
Or a few hurdles.
Yeah, and as soon as O.J. passed through the goalposts, it would have been it, and then he would have gotten out of the car. But Cindy Garvey, of all people, I tell you, this woman's phenomenal. She was so intelligent on the Larry King show. Maybe she wasn't that intelligent, just as opposed to Larry King, who sounds like a blithering idiot. She sounded intelligent. But when she said O.J. will never kill himself, this is right after the suicide note was released, she said, "Larry, the guy's a coward. Guys who beat their wives are cowards." And she gave this articulate sort of a response to wife beating and this whole thing. She's dynamite. I want to have sex with her so bad.
Is that a reward for being smart?
I want to give her the reward for being smart. And I tell you something, I don't know what Steve Garvey was looking for in a woman, but damn, that's enough woman for me. She looks great.
You seem to miss the point all the time. That woman O.J. was running around on was beautiful, too.
Not as smart as Cindy Garvey, though, Robin.
What has smart got to do with it?
A lot.
Cindy Garvey likes you, too.
I know. I can get her, I think.
She likes you. I mean, she calls you off the air.
She seems to be on and off, though.
No.
She has said a few.
She called Howard off the air to thank him for being such a nice man.
Yeah. Just because they complimented her and said that she deserved a raise on the Regis Philbin show.
That was years ago.
I just realized something. We have TV cameras in here, and I have my hand in my lap about 20. Does that come through on camera?
I hope so. I hope people know about it.
It's like I'm down here, like, picking my genitals.
So when you go off the deep end, they won't be sitting there saying, "Oh, but he was such a nice guy."
Yeah, I'm sitting here playing with myself, and there's 3 or 4 robot cameras on
Please, train in on his hands.
Anyway.
Monitor every time they leave the top of the console.
Oh, God. I love doing that during the show. It gets me pumped. Gets me juiced.
I guess you're going to have to learn a more professional way to work.
All right, which guy's on the phone now?
Okay.
Wait a minute, I never said the judge's name.
Oh, okay.
Do you want that?
Now Robin is going to announce the judge's name. I'm curious to hear the name. I want to see what type of ethnic background. I got to hear the judge's name. Fred Timpany.
The judge's name is?
Robin, looks sexy when you say it. 95% the guy's a Jew. Oh, I hope it's not a Jew or a black or a... What do you hope it is? What do you hope it is?
I know. See, I can't...
Oh, Fred, what do you hope it is?
You'd think it was a Jew, but I think he's Irish. I don't know why.
Do you think he's going to be Irish?
I think he's going to be an Irish guy.
Maybe it'd be good if it was a Jew.
Could be.
I don't understand any of this.
All right, go ahead. Never mind what everyone else thinks. Go ahead. What is it?
Municipal Judge Ronald
Weinstein.
Schoenberg.
Liberal. Where's the Hitler card?
They say he wouldn't comment on this last week.
But Adolf Hitler said the following.
Aber wir werden auch die nicht vergessen, die den richtigen Weg einschlagen.
All right, enough of that.
We have to thank the USA Today for revealing that name.
Well, here's the point. Justice Schoenberg.
Judge. He's just a municipal judge.
Whatever he is, this guy let O.J. off with a joke of a sentence. Hey, O.J., can you come to my son's bar mitzvah? O.J., can you? My boy's going to be bar mitzvah.
Can we be friends?
Please. I mean, he should catch some heat.
He might have been one of the golf buddies by now.
Hey, O.J., I understand you're a golfer. Was machst du, O.J.? I don't know. I got to find out where someone told me about this, that O.J. is pleading black stress.
I don't know where you could have found that. O.J., I understand, is nothing but cry in his cell.
Baby. All right, which guy is this? Is this a guy from Los Angeles?
This is the guy that called ABC Network News with Peter Jennings and said that...
Now, I understand. I didn't see the ABC report, but Al Michaels was part of it.
Yeah.
Well, Al Michaels comes into it because Peter Jennings has no...
Al Michaels is a big fan of our show. He's a sports announcer with ABC, obviously. Everyone knows who he is. And Peter Jennings, I guess it's really true what I say about anchor people. We watch them, and the real good ones make you feel like they're so intelligent.
Yes.
But Peter Jennings, like all anchormen, is a puppet head.
He's like the straw man in The Wizard of Oz.
If it is not written down on a piece of paper for an anchorman, I guarantee you they can't say it.
I don't think Peter Jennings has a brain.
They don't know that it's a phony phone call until somebody tells them in their earpiece.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll just keep going.
Because what it was is the setup was O.J. was out on the highway, I guess, and they're following it, and Peter Jennings says... I haven't heard this yet, but Peter Jennings says something like, hey, there's a guy, a witness right there. He saw O.J.
No, they were already in the driveway at this point.
Oh, okay. And he says, I'm O.J.'s neighbor. But meanwhile, the guy sounds like Step and Fetch It. He goes, hello, Dad, Peter Jennings. It was a real bad one. He
doing a real bad black dialect?
Like I do every day. And he goes, now, looky here, I see out the dough. Now, first of all, where's the guy who sounds like that next door to O.J. Simpson? I mean, use your head.
He might have been in the gardener's cottage.
My father said he was watching it on TV. He says, this Peter Jennings is a nincompoop.
Thank goodness for Al Michaels. And I'm beginning to think the sports guys are the ones with the real brains.
Yeah. David Biancouli in his column today says that Stern ought to tell his audience and his most devoted followers that it's time to stop. That would be the right thing to do. He says by not telling them, I've told them not to do it. They don't listen to me. He's saying the prankster should never have made the call, and Stern, by not firmly and seriously disavowing such poor taste phone calls during coverage, has reached the point where he shares the blame.
Excuse me.
Where is that coming from?
Mr. Biancouli, I think it's incumbent upon news organizations to check their sources.
Yeah.
I have to question what these other sources are, if they ever call back and check to see if these people are valid or have
in other words,
real true story to tell.
You're saying by those phone callers, it shows you that the media will talk to anybody.
Absolutely, and they'll report to you what anybody says.
Thank you.
You can make up anything.
Thank you. And as a matter of fact, it certainly showed that during this whole thing that Peter Jennings
is out to lunch.
In fact, he should be watched for Suicide Watch. Gary, you've got the strangest face I ever saw. Did you see yourself on the E! Show?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
at the end of the show, we talk about your lips and how you can't get your lips over your teeth. How you couldn't actually force your lips over your teeth.
Gotcha.
I never saw... You look dopier.
One of the funniest things I have ever seen on television.
Funnier than that shot that goes right up your nostrils, Robin?
No, I didn't see that one. All I saw was you trying to straighten those teeth.
I thought Robin looked kind of pretty.
I don't know. Somebody faxed me.
Kind of pretty?
Somebody faxed me.
Yeah, I thought you looked really nice.
Somebody faxed and said, Robin's very pretty, but don't do the shot that goes up her nostrils.
I never saw that shot. I never saw anything. Except Gary's teeth. That was funny.
What is that?
Gary,
I didn't see you, but you saw my teeth.
I did.
You get the E! Network. I don't. But I got to tell you, they sent over the tape, and I'm looking at Gary's teeth. I said, this looks like the gates to O.J. Simpson's estate. I said, I've never seen anything like it.
There was that one shot where he put the paper up, and he tried to get ready.
Yeah.
He really tried to force
laughing.
his lips over
Let me see you put your lips over your teeth right now.
Done.
What? Let me see. Look how the lips now look how the lips stretch over the teeth. Watch. Look.
I told you. Listen.
It doesn't look like you're relaxed.
It's a shock that I have big teeth and big lips.
All right. It's just funny. It's funny to watch on TV.
Did you see the review in the paper today?
No.
The guy said, I do have to report that Gary does have extremely big teeth.
It does not.
We got. By the way, the E! Show. I was yelling at the. I got to tell you everything that's going on with E! But I was yelling Sunday night about this shot, that shot, because it's hard working with robot cameras, and everyone's working hard to try to get this thing looking just right. And I was yelling and yelling and yelling. Then I opened up the paper this morning, and the guy gave us 3.5 stars out of 4 for the E! Show. And I go, hey, disregard everything I said.
Yeah, just forget what I said over the weekend.
But it's a work in progress. I mean, putting cameras in a studio like this using robot cameras, it's going to take time to work it all out and, get it all together. But anyway,
let's get back to this guy, and then I'll talk about the E-Show.
I just have to say one more thing. When Gary puts his lips over his teeth, it's like one of those bodybuilding poses.
Yeah.
You know how a guy has to work really hard to pump up his muscles?
Phone call.
Gary has to work really hard to get the lips over his teeth.
Yeah, I know, and it's like it created a scene where every bit of energy in Gary's body had to be used.
It was Friday, the end of the week. I was out of energy. There's a guy on the phone that did something really good.
We got to talk about the Knicks, too, and I must again say NBC.
Weren't we supposed to be celebrating today?
We will be. Thursday morning.
Yeah, we'll see. NBC is out of their minds. I am telling you, they should. Not only do we need the name of the judge in the O.J. Simpson case, we need the name of the NBC executive.
All right.
Who sits there and says, gee, 50 other channels are covering O.J. Simpson. I better cut away from a basketball game, a championship basketball game. I'm going to cut away now for the entire third period almost and cover O.J. Simpson in a car. At the very least, put the car in the lower corner of the screen and keep the game going.
Why remind people that there's something more important than this game? You should tune over to another station.
It's insanity. I mean, people want to see this game.
And if you want to see what's going on with O.J. Simpson, there are several other channels doing full coverage.
Well, you know what it was? It was a case of the guy going, gee, what's better, the game or O.J. Simpson? So I'll cover both badly. I'll cover the game badly. I'll cover the O.J. Simpson thing badly.
The point is, however, that they could never have gone to full coverage. There was only one place you could see the basketball game.
Why is it that these NBC executives or television executives in general have no brains? Why is it so apparent what they should do to everyone else but them?
You know who I bet made the decision? You know who I bet pushed
Warren Littlefield.
I bet you it was whoever is the head.
He's the same guy who lost David Letterman. Gee, I think I'll go after Jay Leno and dump Letterman. Ha, Warren. Retard.
I'll bet you it was the guy, whoever the head of the news division, probably went there and said, you know, we have legitimate news to cover, and you're not letting us, you know, do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, there's a guy in a car. We have to go cover it. You know, there's 500 other channels covering it. Stick with the game. That's what you went with? Go with it.
That was the only place you could see it, and they took that away.
All right, anyway, so over at ABC, you're the guy who made the phone call?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, how'd you get through?
Okay, what I did was, first of all, I'm also the guy that made the Dexter phone call on the LIRR.
Oh, you're the guy who did the Colin Ferguson call.
I made 2 prank phone calls this year, and they both made the paper, so I'm very happy about that.
Well, let me tell you something. I was reading the Prodigy billboard service on computer, and many of the fans of the show were saying that whoever made that call has reached his peak of his talents. Because this call you're about to hear.
I see, okay.
All right, so you called up and you said...
what happened was this. Like you said, I was watching the Knick game. They cut away from the Knick game, which I was freaking out about. But I couldn't get through to Channel 4. That's who I really wanted to get through because it was really annoying not to watch the game.
Right.
So what happened was I ended up calling Channel 7 again. I figured I had luck with them the first time. And I said...
They're extra stupid, I guess.
Yeah. So I called up and I said, hi, this is KTLA. I need a producer right away. So they go, KTLA? Yeah, KTLA Los Angeles, Mike Fox with you. Get me a producer now. So they go ahead, scrambling around. You know, all of a sudden the producer, hello, KTLA? Yes, that's right. We got a satellite link up over there, and we've got some mobile units on an on-site location. If you're interested, I could patch you through on a switchboard if you want. Let's do it now, though. And in the background, and they're freaking out now. I hear in the background, some guy goes, okay, we got a guy from KTLA. They're flipping out over at the Channel 7. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm cracking up. I'm trying not to laugh. So then they're just like, okay, what do you got there? And I'm yelling in the background while they're doing this. I go, okay, Chicago, line 76, go with it. You know?
You're adding atmosphere.
Yeah.
I really wanted to I had my brothers in the background. It was funny. So then finally they said, okay, we're going to give you through. You know, I put them on hold for a second. I said, we're going to try and make the call. I put them on hold. I didn't make a call. I put them back on. I said, what kind of operation are you running over there? Don't you guys know what the hell you're doing? So I'm screaming at the guy. I wanted to get through right away. He goes, okay, we're going to give you a number right now. It's going to be a direct line to the newsroom. Peter Jennings is going to pick up the phone.
So this points up again that nobody checks sources.
Let me tell you the truth. You guys have a better screening process than they do.
Gary, you should feel proud.
So,
Gary, maybe you can't cover your lips with your you can't cover your teeth with your lips, but you certainly can scream.
Hey, boss, are you saying I'm smarter than Peter Jennings?
I am.
I'm saying a piece of wood is smarter than Peter Jennings.
Well, I feel good.
So what happens is the next thing I know, I go ahead, I shut off my TV because I know there's going to be a delay on. I call up,
But this is, first of all, let's just say everyone was in a state of confusion because on one channel, you had 10 black guys. This is what I observed: 10 black guys playing with a ball. And the other channel had 2 black guys in a car playing with a gun. I'm saying, where are the white people at? What is it? I can't get white people on my TV.
Friday night and no white people on TV.
The only white guy I saw for a few minutes was Larry King, and that's a poor example of a white person. I said, what is this? It's like color television. They literally meant it when... But white people don't show up good on screen?
Did that guy in his article, when he wrote about this phone call, did he say anything about how the networks don't do anything to check?
No.
And how they're all in such a rush to scoop each other that they put on things like this?
No, they just blame us.
And by the way, I mean, really, what is the big deal if a guy gets through and says Baba Booey?
Right, it's not like it's the most important. It's not like a presidential funeral.
And what if it was? So what?
If the guy got on and just lied convincingly, they would appreciate that much more.
Yeah, right. Which they do all the time. So anyway, you get on. So don't let me interrupt your story. So you get on.
Right. So I end up calling up, and Peter Jennings' producer is right there next to Peter Jennings, I guess, or right behind him. And they said, okay, you're the guy that spoke that's right on location? So then all of a sudden I come up with this voice. I go, why, yes, I am. This be Robert Higgins, and I'll be across the street from O.J.
All right, so let's go listen to the tape at this point.
Okay.
All right, let's put it on right now.
Again, it just seems perfectly clear that Cowling wants everybody to be calm.
First of all, you know what another thing that pisses me off now that I'm listening to Peter Jennings handle this like it's a presidential funeral. This guy's worth $10 million, they say, O.J. Simpson. They should deduct from his money the amount of money it costs to have 50,000 police cars chasing him for an hour. Do you know what the taxpayers had to pay to apprehend this guy?
Well,
why do I have to pay for it?
The police didn't have to let O.J. slip through their fingers like
Fine.
that. They caused a lot of problems by not keeping an eye on O.J.
But the bottom line is you and me have to pay, and the people of Los Angeles and everyone else in the world have to pay for police protection. Why am I paying for 5 cars, helicopters, and everything else?
There were 18 cars
18 cars.
following him.
Who do you think pays all these officers? Let O.J. pay them.
And who was watching the other criminals? Was O.J. the only criminal out in Los Angeles?
There were more people out looting during this than robbing and raping and stealing.
I would like to see a report of what else happened.
All right, let's get back to the phone call. Right now, Peter Jennings is, letting things
Nobody's
happen.
whispering anything in Peter's ear.
Right. He's looking Peter, wake up. You look half asleep from that bad eye job. Here we go. Did he have an eye job?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. Looked like it to me. Peter, wake up. Say something, quick.
I'm going to ask everybody to be quiet for a moment. We have on the phone with us as well Robert Higgins, who lives in the neighborhood and is on the ground and can see inside the van. Mr. Higgins.
Yes, how are you?
Just about as tense as you are, sir.
Oh, my Lord, this is quite tensive.
What can you see?
Oh, what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at the van, and I see O.J. kind of slouching down, looking very...
Now, at this point, my father said to me, I didn't see this. He was watching. He says, everyone knew it was a phony phone call. It was definitely a Howard Stern fan. Except Peter. Al Michaels is like, look at him now.
Yeah, Peter.
I'm looking at the van. This is very tensive.
Peter Jennings had turned into George Goebel on the Tonight Show set as the cigarette ashes from Dean Martin were going into the cup.
Very upset. Now, looky here. He looks very upset. I don't know what he's going to be doing.
Can you see him doing anything specific? Is he merely sitting there?
He is just sitting around, just looking like he'd be very nervous.
He's picking his toes.
Looking like he'd be very nervous.
He's looking like he'd be very nervous. Lordy have mercy. The man him picking his toes and looking very vulnerable. Great googly boogly.
I can't believe it.
Is it possible that Peter Jennings, in his distinguished career, has never spoken to a real black man?
Well, he's Canadian.
Oh, okay. They don't have many. Tell me, as long as I have a black person on the phone, can you skate with that extra bone in your ankle? Why, knows I can't. That's why we can't swim either. Our feet are too heavy and weigh us right down to the cement in the pool. Wait a second.
Can you hear anything, Mr. Higgins?
It's just too much commotion. I be in the back of a news van, so I can't really hear that good, but I can see it all. and I see OJ. I see OJ, man, and he looks scared. And I would be scared because there's cops all deep in this.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins.
And Baba Booey to y'all.
The driveway of O.J. Simpson's home in Brentwood. Clearly an effort being made to have him come out of the vehicle in the doorway of the house.
I done be cut off the line.
Hey, does Peter know now?
Yeah, I think they might have informed him in his headphones. But he's so heroic.
Such a robot.
Yeah, a robot puppet head. That
makes no reference to it. The phone call just goes away.
What is this, Stuttering John?
If you keep on playing, he doesn't know it's all.
No, I'm going to keep playing. Because I want to hear Al Michaels explain Baba Booey to him.
Could you even believe that they didn't stop me right at the first word?
No.
Now looky here.
I mean, that should have been a clue for anybody.
And you were supposed to be O.J. Simpson's neighbor.
Yeah, like a guy with that voice lives in Brentwood.
Yeah. Well, I done hit oil in my backyard and I made my money that way.
I've been sitting back at a newsstand here, and he looked very scared.
Members of the Ku Klux Klan called up and were blushing. They were so embarrassed. I mean,
we're trying to make everybody think white people are smart, Peter.
Now, look here. I'm be next door to O.J. Been living here for many, many years. In fact, Mr. Drysdale coming over with my money. Right now.
I like that, Miss Jane.
Haven't the papers pointed out like 50 times that O.J.'s the only black guy in Brentwood?
Yeah. That's why he's suffering black stress.
His friend, Al Cowling.
Peter, by the way, just for the record, this is Al Michaels. That was a totally farcical call. Lest anybody think that was somebody who was truly across the street. That was not. He said something in code at the end that's indicative of the mentioning of the name of a certain radio talk show host.
Okay, thanks, Al.
So he was not there.
All right, we have them on every coast. Thank you very much.
What did Peter Jennings say?
We have them on every coast.
His code name.
His code name is Baba Booey.
Yes, it's indicative of some peripheral character, Baba Booey. From the talk show radio host.
Now, hold on there, Mr. Michael. I'll be right with you, Mr. Jennings, because this man is making a terrible statement about my reputation.
Peter, we have to point out that there really are no black people that talk like that anywhere
in the world.
You know, you're a real peckerhead, Peter. This is Al Michaels. I just want to go on the record as saying that. You're going to interrupt the game and...
Peter, you
that
piece
was
of wood.
not a real Negro.
Thank you, Al. I repeat, not a real Negro.
Peter, you block of wood.
I mean, the words looky here should have sent you running for your life.
Did you listen to the man, Peter?
Al Michaels trying to slap some sense into Peter Jennings.
Wake up, damn it.
We got to get Al Michaels on the phone about that. That's
Peter, I'm really surprised your head doesn't rattle.
Peter, you idiot, that wasn't a real phone call.
Look, I know Negroes.
Wait, I got to replay that.
I know Negroes. They've got woolly heads, big lips, but they don't talk like that.
It was the same producers as the Dexter phone call, by the way. I spoke with the same two guys.
Yeah?
So I guess they didn't get fired, but maybe they will now.
Oh, so you got the same two
Peter,
guys?
by the way, just for the record, this is Al Michaels. That was a totally farcical call.
What?
Lest anybody think that was somebody who was truly across...
Well, nobody thought except for Peter.
...the street. That was not. He said something in code at the end that's indicative of the mentioning of the name of a certain radio talk show host.
Okay, thanks, Al.
So he was not there.
All right, we have them on every coast. Thank you very much. Not the first time nor the last time will have been had, but...
I'm too stupid to tell.
Why didn't someone tell me?
By the way, Peter, this is Al Michaels again. Who took your SATs for you? That was no chitlin eater.
That's it. If the police do get their hands on O.J., he will be taken to the Los Angeles County Men's Jail, where he will be held until a preliminary hearing is held, which is normally 2 weeks after he's arraigned. You probably already know from earlier today that various blood samples
You think Peter Jennings talks like that because he's depressed about O.J.? Or
No,
or just...
I'm telling you, they're telling him that in his ear as he says it.
Right, and
maple syrup in his head.
What is that, Al?
He's got maple syrup in his head.
Thank you, Al Michaels.
If O.J. is arrested, that's if O.J.
I don't
is
think...
arrested. If O.J. is arrested...
I think if they hired me to be an anchorman, I would fail the test because I could never talk that slow and dull. It would be like, if O.J. is arrested, I believe it will be very soon.
He will be taken to the men's prison.
Excuse me, how long have I been asleep, Robin? Well, thank you for the call.
Howard, let me tell you one thing.
And by the way, I don't approve of the phone call you just made.
What's that?
I said I don't approve of the phone call you made.
Oh, I'll never do it again, Howard.
All right, thank you.
He is batting 1,000, though. Every time he calls, he gets in the news.
All I have to say is I want an FME this year.
You got it. Rip out your phone,
Guys,
please.
good talking to you.
All right, I'm going to trace you down, and I'm going to stop you.
Now, look at here. I can't be founded, okay?
All right, I know where you live. You live next door to O.J.
Now, look here, Miss Missy.
You done give away your address.
Mr. Peter Jennings can't be getting me in no types of trouble.
All right, dude.
All right, later, Howard.
Thanks,
Bye,
man.
Robin.
Bye-bye.
In a minute, a call from L.A., similar kind of phone call.
Is that right?
Yeah, the setup on this next one is great. He tells them that he's got a police scanner, and he's monitoring the phone call between O.J. and the police.
That's coming up next, right after these words.
With the Howard Stern Show.
All right, let me hear what happened.
So I start saying, well, O.J. was like, he was crying and waving his gun around, screaming, it's over, it's over. And the cops were saying, come on, think about your kids, think about your kids. And
so how did you get, so if they taped it, how did you get what was the reference, the Howard Stern reference?
Well, no, yeah, it's really funny what happened. So then
let you play it for me.
Okay, can I just tell you one quick thing?
Yeah.
What happened was I hung up with them thinking that I blew it, and then I flipped around and I turned back to the channel, and there was a newscaster all bleary-eyed saying, "Oh my God, to think of O.J. screaming, it's over, waving around that gun." So now I had credibility, so I called back, and I said, I just went there again, and you won't believe what I heard. I found out the reason why O.J. didn't surrender. He heard Howard Stern talking about him, and he just went crazy.
And they put that on the air?
They put that on the air, and then all the other stations around here picked up on it, too, saying Howard was the reason why O.J. went AWOL.
Really?
Yeah, and then it was just in the newspaper this morning.
Let me hear it.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Whoops.
A first-hand report tonight from a young man who was part of the mob scene outside O.J.'s mansion in Brentwood. Now, he was standing close enough to the police scanners to actually listen in on the conversations between O.J., the Ford Bronco, and police negotiators in the house.
He should just take this, straight ahead and not leave his kids, because then they would be fatherless. They really kept stressing the kids. They kept stressing that nobody knows for sure what happened in that house. And then he started crying, saying, it's over, it's over. And then he started waving the gun around, I guess, because they started saying, don't wave that around, put it by your side, keep it by your side. No one has to use it. Nobody has to get hurt. The guy on the radio, Stern, he was, I guess, talking about O.J., and O.J. was calling him an the F word and the A word, and that drove him nuts, and that he can't believe somebody would say something before all the facts were out, and the cops were like, or whoever was talking to him was like, yeah, well, no one listens to that guy, and, all people care about is facts.
All right, we tried reaching Howard Stern tonight for comment on that, but our calls were not returned. There is other news.
That is so funny.
We tried reaching Howard Stern.
Did anybody try to reach him?
If they did, I would have gotten on and said, this is ludicrous.
In fact, I was just thinking, all those people called in with pleas to O.J. not to do it. I thought you should have made
I should. Where do you call for stuff like that? I never know. There must be a celebrity hotline that people are on.
They also were asking me to come down to the station so they could interview me live on camera.
Really? That would have been great. I wish they would have called me, because I would have said, now looky here. I don't understand what the big problem is. No, I would have said, excuse me, is it possible that TV people are stupider than O.J.?
Who is giving us the news?
Who is giving us the news, and who's checking sources here?
Hey, Howard, you know what's funny? When I heard that O.J. killed those people, didn't you, in your head, you heard like an Al Michaels type commentator, like doing a color commentary? Well, O.J.'s really hacking him up right now.
No, I didn't hear that.
That's in your head.
Those are the little voice. You have an Al Michaels voice in your head. Don't lump me in with your psychoses.
You know, Michael Jackson called up O.J.
Did he?
He said, "Don't worry, I'll watch your children."
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to hear my O.J. song?
And quickly, because I have to run.
Okay, and I'm doing it in O.J.'s voice to Dock of the Bay.
He always goes the unfunny step too far. Go ahead, all right. Go ahead, quickly.
I can't believe I done killed my wife. I stabbed that ungrateful bitch with my knife. I killed her young boyfriend too, 'cause only I thought he might be a Jew. Now I'm sitting here in my cell. If I be convicted, then I be in hell. I sure do miss that Howard Cosell, even though he am Jew.
All right, thank you.
Hey.
Yes.
The E-show was terrific. Could I say the best moment?
Yes, what was the best moment on the E-show?
Actually, I have a really good review of the E-show. My favorite moment so far is when you walk out at the end of the show and into the dressing room and Ralph is holding Robin's hand.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even remember that.
That was the worst part of the show for me.
But can I tell you why the show is so great?
Tell me. I want to know.
The reason the show is so great is because, like when I came into the studio during the Albany thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everyone said, "Oh, Howard really tore you a new one," and he really. By the way, my speech therapist wants to kill you.
Just go. Well, maybe you ought to report to that judge who let O.J. off after he beat his wife. Go ahead, yeah.
Because you've completely brought my list back now.
Yeah. All right. Well, quickly, what is it? Okay. Thank you for the call.
The reason why the show is so great is because nobody ever sees like the smiling and the laughter that goes on in the studio while the words are being done.
It's funny you say that. We got, it's really funny.
That in the review too.
All right, as long as King of All Song Parodies is bringing this up, let me say a couple of things about the E-show. So, there's so much going on. Eric Roberts is coming in. We're talking about O.J. Simpson. I've already railed on the judge who let O.J. out, and let him off so easy.
Judge Schoenberg?
Judge Schallenberg. Anyway, so we taped the E-show the first time we actually had cameras in here, and we did it. And I was in a bad mood over the weekend over some of the things he had done. Not about the show, but about the billboard they put up for me in Los Angeles. Do you know about this?
No.
He was very excited, and in their enthusiasm, they get crazy. They get wild. They get enthusiastic that they have the show. So right away, Fran's the vice president over there. I got to get a billboard up announcing that your show is on TV. I got to get a billboard up. I said, I don't really like billboards. You don't have to get a billboard up. No, this is exciting. Everybody has a billboard up in Los Angeles. It'll be exciting. It'll be wonderful. I said, well, what's on the billboard? He said, well, it's going to be a big picture of you. Then it's going to say, Howard Stern, Monday through Saturday, 8 to 11, and also 2 in the morning. Also, it's going to say... I said, ho. I said, wait a second. I said, first of all, I don't need a billboard. Billboards look jive to me. They're stupid. Billboards are stupid. Billboard equals stupid. So I said, why don't you make it simple? Then our agent, Don, called and said, listen, if you're going to put up a billboard, if this is what really is going to get your rocks off, if you think that this is going to help the show, to announce what time it's on, I think many people will get the word anyway. He said, just put up a picture of Howard and just say, Howard Stern on E. Boom. That's enough. People will find out what time it is. They'll tune in to find out what time it is. It's too garbled up. They all agree. They say, all it's going to say is Howard Stern on E. Everyone agreed. Now, this is what happens when things go in a rush. My agent's out in California now. He drives by. He sees the billboard. Guess what the billboard says? All the stuff that Fran said the first time. Plus, they came up with a slogan. And what does it say? It is the lamest... I love Fran, but the whole station is run by women, and it's a very woman kind of slogan. Let me hear it. It's not the way I think. Listen to this slogan. Howard Stern is on the rack? What does it say? I said to her, please, can't you just hire a homeless person to wear a sandwich board and let him walk up and down the street? It said, his eyes are dreamy. No, it said, get sterned. And I was like, what does get stern mean? I hope my listeners will go up on that billboard. Not that I don't approve of vandalism, but I hope they will mark out the get sterned. It's an embarrassment to me. I had nothing to do with it. I said, what's the rush with all these billboards? You can make a billboard. Let me approve it. I have opinions. My agent said he was vomiting, and he's been yelling to get it down. I mean, it's making me nuts. So anyway, in the rush to put on the show,
on TV. I don't know. I
like I saw the closing where, the TV is sitting there and it gets, the radio explodes into it. I thought that was great.
The show's going to be very successful. It's a good show. In fact, this is amazing. Well, there's 2 different reviews in the paper. One in the Daily News. David Bianculli says it's a good idea what we're doing with the radio show, but needs work, blah, 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 blah. John Potter-Horitz in the New York Post says the following.
Potteritz.
Potteritz? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's what he says. Where were you more nervous, here or on your date with Madonna? That was the question Howard Stern asked a giggling Mark Messier when he and the fellow Rangers showed up for Howard's radio show Friday morning. And the very fact that Stern asked Messier more questions about Madonna than about the Stanley Cup helps explain why his show has become an addiction for so many of us. Okay, good. You've already been told over and over again why you should hate him for his crudity, vulgarity, and obscenity. Many people think Howard Stern represents the end of civilization as we know it. And they may be right. I'm not even sure Stern would disagree entirely. But here's why I like Howard Stern. He's a classic New York street corner comedian, a wise guy with a cold eye and a harsh tongue, quick-witted and high-spirited guy. And most important, in these fame-addled days, he's utterly unafraid of celebrities and won't cut them ridiculous amounts of slack other interviewers do. Now Stern is bringing his radio show to television over the E! Network beginning tonight. E! is running 2 half-hour shows every evening adapted from the morning broadcast.
So is that true?
No, it's only one.
Okay.
The first at 8 p.m., the sneak preview was 2 shows. I said to the people at E! I thought that was too ambitious, that they were rushing to put together these shows, and as a result, I would have done things differently, but the shows were what they were. They were fun. The first at 8 p.m. with material suited to viewing at the early hour, and one at 11 p.m. which will feature racier material. I don't know where he got that from, but maybe somebody sent out a weird press release. Judging from 2 preview programs broadcast on Saturday night, E! has a lot more work to do if it wants to capture the show's controlled lunacy for TV viewers. The purple lighting makes the studio look like a combination of a bordello and Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory. There are sound problems. See, this is all the stuff that I was screaming about to E! There were sound problems because they were taking a board feed. There's a lot of technical reasons, so I had a big meeting on Sunday over the phone where I critiqued the show. And what John is saying is pretty much what I said. There are sound problems. On Saturday night, it was almost impossible to hear Messier's answers to Stern's mind-boggling queries. And worst of all, the 6 robot cameras placed around Stern's studio don't seem to be able to pick up on the activities of Jackie and impressionist Fred Norris, who serve as Stern's in-house audience and fan club. Instead, all the reaction shots are of his ace sidekick, Robin Quivers, who seems trapped behind glass in the Stern Show version of the $64,000 question in isolation.
I am trapped. I definitely feel that way.
But the point is, we're not going to change our radio show around to accommodate the TV cameras. No. Is what we're doing, and we're making the best out of it. Here's the layout. Stern sits behind his microphone at a U-shaped desk. Jackie and Fred are opposite him, and Robin's booth is directly behind their heads. To Howard's left are 2 microphones for guests and the occasional appearance by producer Gary Baba Booey Delabate, Slash and Burn interviewer Stuttering John Melendez, and intern Steve Grillo. Director Bob Baskerville needs to give the viewer more of a sense of the interplay between the various characters, which he's doing. In fact, Bob's already made corrections on all that, where you're going to be able to see 2 shots and stuff like that.
Wonderful.
He says, although I am happy to report that to my fellow listeners that Baba Booey does have extremely large teeth.
I told it was there.
And that Steve Garillo is so self-conscious about his premature baldness that he appeared on the first show wearing a baseball cap. We should get Garillo in here to take off his cap.
Wait till they see how nervous Gorilla gets when you goof on him and make fun of his hair. You know how he gets all twitchy and stuff?
Yeah, well, as soon as the O.J. stuff is over with and we have Eric Roberts coming in, because I've been doing so much O.J. Simpson material this morning, what I'm going to do, as soon as that O.J. thing dies down, I'm going to introduce each cast member like Gorilla and have him take his hat off.
Right now, we're just like the news programs. We're focused on O.J.
Yeah. I mean, there's just too much excitement. Plus, I got to talk about the Knicks. I got to talk about a whole bunch of crap.
I also want to know about your writing session.
Yeah, I got to tell you about my movie.
Weekend. You were supposedly writing a movie, and the whole time I was sitting at home, captivated by O.J. and the Knicks and so forth. I was wondering what you were doing. Were you completely closeted away? Could you see these things?
Yeah, I saw some of this stuff, but thank God we had the meeting because the movie's all done now.
You're kidding.
We'll start shooting tomorrow.
You really did write the whole thing?
Yeah, we wrote the whole script already.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I had Sunday free. I took Saturday, wrote the whole script, and then Sunday I relaxed.
You're lying.
What are you talking about? You know I'm prolific. And I'm a good writer, too.
Prolific.
How hard am it to write a whole movie in only 90 minutes or so?
You couldn't even write that many words in just one day.
Oh, yes, I can.
I just need to write the beginnings, the middles, and the ends.
Yeah. Hey, did we play your tape yet? Yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah, hey, I just want to nominate myself for an Emmy.
No, that other guy beat you, man. He was funny. The guy with the
that was a great
That was a great call.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I was only
even with all the glitches, Howard Stern is almost as entertaining on television as he is on the radio. In fact, he's a little easier to take on television because we can actually see him smiling goofily as he asks difficult questions or yells at his staff. The smile takes some of the edges off, and for all those who are sure that televising the Stern Show will only hasten God's final judgment of us all, so sue me, the man makes me laugh.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, that was nice. And then
There's one thing he missed in there, though.
David Bianaculi had the complete opposite to say, you know.
What, he said my teeth were small?
Wait a minute.
No, everyone agreed your teeth were big.
Let us just point out that David Bianaculi developed a terrible problem with his show. I forget why, though. Remember he asked to have his quote, that was very nice, taken out of your book because of something you did not too long ago?
No, it wasn't David.
It wasn't?
No, it was the guy from the New York
guy?
Post, who I think is gone now. Adam Horowitz.
Oh, that was who it was? I thought it was David.
No, David actually gave a very good review to my first E! show. And actually, David kind of comes off saying, hey, I think this is a really cool idea, and I think with time it's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he was... well, here, I'll read you some of it. He says, okay, Howard explains that, you know, what we're going to do is the best half hour of the show on TV. The plan is to have robot cameras and a hallway handheld minicam operator capture everything that goes on during Stern's morning show on 92.3 FM K-Rock to edit the results into twice nightly half-hour TV showcase. Cameras in the studio recording everything sounds a little like what the Beatles did in Let It Be. However, if all successive installments of Howard Stern's are atypically dull and tame as Saturday's sneak preview, Let It Be would be a good advice. He says, once it wears off, that, you know, you study the habitat, the novelty of the robot cameras wears off. He's almost...
Is he as confused in his writing as you are reading it?
Yeah, it's a little confusing because I'm not sure where he's going with this, and I'm trying to sort of capsulize it and find the thing. For the inaugural outing, Stern spent most of the half hour ridiculing his cohorts. There were no celebrity guests, no volatile... Because what they did was, the second show was the Mark Messier and the Rangers. So the second show had everything in it that he didn't see in the first show.
So did he only watch one? Or
I think so. Tonight's show, which should reflect this morning's take on the O.J. Simpson chase, should provide a better test of what Stern can or will discuss on TV. Then he talks about the whole Peter Jennings thing. In other words, he saw one show and he said he didn't like what they pulled for the half hour. But I don't know. The other guy is saying it was great stuff and fun.
Yeah, but he reviewed the Messier show.
I don't think John Podahoritz has ever given anything 3.5 stars. Potteritz. So I'm saying that both of them agree, though, that it's a good idea and that they think that the show's going to really work into something big. So that's good. What can I say?
Will you guys be quiet? I'm trying to wrap my movie.
I got to go.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Howard, Eric Roberts and his lovely wife Eliza are here.
Oh, yeah? His wife's a nut.
Very pretty.
Brought in his wife as well.
Should learn how to pronounce the name of the guy who likes our TV show, John Podahoritz.
Podahoritz or Potteritz?
Podahoritz.
I don't know exactly, but it's not Podahoritz.
Well, that's the Israeli pronunciation. All right, so far we've discussed O.J. Simpson for 2 hours. We played... I'm trying to think if I left anything out of my discussion of O.J. I told you how furious I am with the judge.
You did leave out the one most crucial part of his capture. After O.J. was brought into the house and handcuffed, what did he request?
Baba Booey.
O.J.
Yeah, that was good.
He wanted a drink of orange. Always thinking endorsement. If he should get out of this...
I don't think it's hit him yet that this is for real. Now, may I have some O.J., please? O.J., your name's O.J. No, I mean O.J., orange juice.
All I could think of when I was watching him the other night is that, like, in a year, he'll be on satellite from jail with Oprah, explaining I was so out of control.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Begging for some sort of leniency in the
Trying to get that probation or parole.
Here's the one thing I wanted to add to this whole discussion of O.J., since I've given you my whole take. And I want to take some phone calls on it, but I want to talk to Eric Roberts first.
Maybe Eric has some thoughts on it.
Oh, I bet you he does. But here's the point. I now read in the paper. This is the stuff that kills me. I read in the paper. And that kills me that I even read the paper. A lot of people don't think I do.
Kills me. Did you have time?
It kills me. I see now what they're talking about. They say, well, it looks like O.J. is going to make a confession.
They think he might after a certain point.
For a plea bargain. Now,
what plea bargain?
Excuse me. Let me talk about this for a second. Now, this is amazing to me. They got this guy. Why are they giving this guy a plea bargain?
How much more evidence do they need?
And what kind of plea? Yeah, they've got the guy down. I'm so sick of these plea bargains. In other words, he's going to be able to plea bargain away the gas chamber?
I understand that they even have a witness who's asking for immunity.
Yeah.
Someone who may have either seen the crime or been a part of it in some way.
Yeah. Well,
why do you need immunity if you've seen it?
Well, because evidently this is a standard procedure when you have a lawyer. They always ask for immunity before you go before a grand jury, just to blanket cover everything. I don't think that the guy was a part of it.
Up to something?
Yeah, they say that this is just standard operating procedure. So it sounds bizarre at first, but then when you find out how the legal system is, that everyone just asks for immunity. But anyway, because they don't want to testify. A lot of people don't even want it. Yeah, they just don't want it.
You couldn't be asked anything, I suppose, in front of a grand jury.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, I didn't want to see this. I just want to get on with my life, okay? So just give me a blanket immunity and I'll go tell you everything that happened. But to me, the only choices should be quick death or painful death. So if O.J. gives us a confession and saves us some money, you get to die by lethal injection as opposed to having your nuts stuffed into your mouth. You know what I mean?
Jimmy Breslin made a very interesting point yesterday. He said if O.J. doesn't get the death penalty should be banned.
Two people deserve the death penalty. O.J. deserves it, and whoever decided at NBC that they were going to switch to the coverage, and possibly the judge who, when this Nicole Simpson was beaten, they brought O.J. before a judge, and you know what the judge said? Here, O.J., pay a couple of bucks. You don't have to do any jail time, and when you go into therapy, just phone it in. That's the guy they got to get.
Jimmy Breslin's take on it was very interesting. He said,
possibly those two girls, I mean, that girl and that guy would have been alive if the judge had just thrown the book at O.J. the first time.
That's possible. That's very possible. But also, let me just say that Jimmy Breslin had a very interesting point to make. Right now, the only people who wind up on death row are people who, of course, commit heinous crimes, but they also have no money.
Right. Let a guy with money die.
If they don't give O.J. the death penalty, he says it'll prove that the death penalty is only for the poor in this country.
Right.
So, got to give it to him.
What is it, Stuttering John? And by the way, most death penalties should be for the poor. They're very upsetting people. Go ahead. What is it, Stuttering John?
Dominic wants to explain immunity to you.
Oh, boy. Dominic, who was on the Geraldo show talking about this as if he knew something?
Yeah, that was weird. Geraldo had a panel of people who had nothing to do with the O.J. Simpson case. And Dominic, I got to say, Dominic is unbelievable. He calls my house during the O.J. Simpson thing every 5 minutes. Am I right, Dominic?
No, twice.
No, twice. Yeah. He goes, first of all, he calls my wife and he says, Allison, are you watching CNN? Allison goes, yeah, the chase. What does Howard think? Put me through to Howard. She goes, he's asleep. He's got to go write his movie tomorrow. He said, wake him up. Wake him up. He wants to see this. Wake him up. Wake him up. Wake him up. Wake him up.
He knows more about what you want than your wife. Is that what he's saying?
Dominic is immense. I mean, intense. He's immense, but wake him up. My wife goes, I'm not waking Howard up. Hold a second. I got to pass wind. Hold it. Thank you for that. Wait a second. All right. Anyway, let me tell you something.
Is that meant directly towards me?
Yes.
Only the last part.
Then Dominic calls me up, right? This is in the afternoon. We're at the point in the O.J. case when, listen to this. We're at the point where O.J., they say they're going to arrest O.J. any minute, okay? Nobody knows O.J.'s on the lam or anything. Dominic calls me up. He goes, Howard, I just got a call from a friend of mine in California. O.J. Simpson is about to be arrested with his oldest son because it seems the oldest son assisted him from his first marriage in killing these two people. I just thought you'd want to know. I go, Dominic, I don't know why I want to know this. I said, I'm going to go turn on the TV. I turn on the TV.
absolutely no reference to O.J.'s son, no implication whatsoever, a total rumor, totally false.
Dominic wants to call you with every bogus rumor.
10 minutes later.
Howard, also, Santa Claus is coming to your house because he's in on the old O.J. thing with the Easter Bunny.
I mean, I never saw a guy like this. And he's calling my house with bulletins. Who am I, the president? I didn't ask for bulletin calls. He just wants involvement with me.
I said I wanted to be back on the air to do a show, but even I wouldn't call you. I know you know. Who couldn't know about this?
I know. What am I going to call you and start doing the show? But Dominic is on the phone every 5 minutes.
Number one.
Dominic, I just got to say, while I'm talking to you, you sound like you're on a respirator. I hear you.
Why should we hear him breathing this way?
I was jogging. Number one.
Yes.
Marvin Kitten mentioned the fact that last week I'm the one who said he'd be running towards the airport, towards the plane.
You're running out of breath.
There he goes. Not only does no one know what you're talking about, but you sound like you're about to gasp your last breath. All right, what is it you want to say about immunity?
All right, first of all, immunity is not for every witness. If you're a witness and you see a crime, you don't need immunity. Immunity is when you have some sort of involvement. It may be post the crime.
No.
Yes.
Now, you're going to argue with a lawyer?
This lawyer I'll argue with.
Dominic has been wrong before.
Dominic
has been wrong with the law?
Dominic was ready to execute O.J.'s son.
That's true.
Number one, you would not need immunity if you're a witness. Immunity is when you go before the grand jury and they ask you actually to waive the immunity so that if you say something that could be incriminating or they know something, you actually could be a defendant.
All right, so I also understand, now, correct me if I'm wrong, that many times someone who goes before the grand jury and is asked to be a witness gets very shaky, nervous, and they say to them, you have blanket immunity, don't get nervous, you didn't do anything wrong. He says, I don't want, because sometimes a person who spotted something could be an illegal alien.
True.
Well, or someone who, you understand, so they give the person, forget about your other circumstances.
Does this case have to go before a grand jury, though?
Yes.
Unless he cops a plea immediately and says, I admit I'm guilty, and I'll do that in exchange for a plea bargain. There should be absolutely no plea bargain in this case. Am I right, Dominic?
Yeah, number one, I don't think you're going to see a plea bargain. If there is one, it's going to be a long way. And number two, you're going to see O.J., and isn't that amazing? We still call him O.J., notwithstanding what he did. But,
what you going to call him?
What do you want to call? You want to give him a new name because of this?
Well, you can't call him murderer yet.
Let's call him Dominic.
Orange L. James?
What do you want to call him?
While we were watching that, they were actually cheering him. Isn't that amazing?
Well, let me tell you something. People are sympathetic to O.J. In fact, our own Jackie the Joke Man says to me, comes in and he goes, Isn't it terrible? Isn't it terrible? They put O.J.'s mugshot on the front page.
No, he didn't say that.
Yes, he did. He was under the sun a lot.
No, that's not true. I said it was depressing.
It is true you were under the sun.
It's a horrible thing to be looking at.
It's depressing to look at you.
Yeah, but the guy's
your face is like a lobster. Don't you think that's depressing?
Yeah, I realize it. It's not on the front page of news.
Well, I'm trying to get it on there.
I don't understand why it's a horrible thing to look at, but if it were a murderer and you didn't know O.J.,
you know what he'd be doing?
Then it wouldn't be a horrible thing to look at. Then you just look at it and go guilty.
No, you know what he'd be doing? He'd be drawing those awful pictures he draws every picture in the paper.
I feel no compassion for O.J., and I know O.J., and I've had many a nice conversation with O.J., but my God.
Don't make it many. You had a couple of conversations.
Come on, Robin. Come on.
Don't pretend that you're a confidant.
I got Eric Roberts coming in here. I want to look like I'm part of the Hollywood community.
You were not mentioned in the suicide note.
Okay. Once I met O.J. Oh, I would. You know what? The guy's on the board of directors of Infinity Broadcasting. You think O.J. could have mentioned me in the suicide note? Some suicide note. That's Cindy Garvey's an amazing woman. She was right on Larry King. She called it. She said, don't worry, this guy ain't committing no suicide. He's a coward. Any man who beats women typically is such a coward, doesn't have the balls to pull the trigger.
Also, a man who, when he meets you, all he talked about was all the women he had.
Right.
But yet, the jealousy over one woman is who he killed.
Yeah, it's weird.
Also, I would like to point out that there's Paula Barbieri, the woman that everybody was claiming was O.J.'s last girlfriend, and she was also mentioned in the suicide note.
Yes.
She's claiming that they had no romantic relationship.
Oh, is that right?
Well, he did say he was sorry that it never got to get started.
I wondered what he was talking about getting started. The fight?
Yeah. At what point in the relationship does a beating come into it?
Now, can I have a critique of my Wednesday Geraldo show, since I'm going to do it again this Wednesday at 4 o'clock?
You looked about 20 pounds lighter.
All right.
So now you look like 500 pounds.
He was the only one.
I thought I tuned into a Free Willy special. But, Dominic, you look good. I got to tell you something. You were the most compelling person on the panel of people who knew nothing about O.J. Simpson.
Let me also say one thing. When I saw that Geraldo had started with an O.J. show, I said right then O.J. ought to turn himself in.
Yeah.
Because if they aren't going to charge him with anything, Geraldo will see that it does happen.
Yeah.
Prediction? Geraldo's going to, not Geraldo, O.J. is going to...
I think you were right the first time.
O.J. is going to change his story totally, like I said he would in the beginning.
And plead
And
insanity.
he's going to have an insanity defense, and we're all going to start finding out things about his past that we all didn't know.
And
Also,
isn't
I've
it
heard
true,
rumors.
Robin and Dominic, isn't it true that the insanity defense is hard to take now because he's already, it proved that in some way that he was sane, that he denied killing and then went on the run?
No. That is not true.
What do you say, Dominic?
Most lawyers say that it can work in both ways.
Yeah?
I think that California juries, after what they did in Mendez and after what they did in the beating cases, you have to understand they're very unusual jurors.
He's hungry. He's been talking for more than 5 minutes.
He's trying to get back to his meal.
He's trying to word economize.
Mendez.
You have very
Picking on syllables.
You have very, very unusual jurors out there. Don't forget.
Yes?
Don't forget Menendez. I got it right. Those jurors did not come in guilty. And they shotgunned their parents to death, so.
Yeah, they got wacky juries out in California. That is true.
Where are they going to...
All I know is killing a fine blonde piece like that is proof enough that this guy's insane. But I don't care. I don't care. When someone kills him, obviously they're insane, but kill him anyway.
You know, these psychiatrists always come up with things. They're now saying everything that O.J. did was indicative of his dissociative personality.
Yeah, black stress.
Where are they going to find 12 people in that state that are going to give him a fair trial?
At your parents' house.
They don't have to not know that this occurred. What they have to say is that they can keep an open
I
mind.
see a jury of 12 Mexican day workers.
Why don't we kill O.J. and then say we were all insane? We got crazy.
Black rage.
Black
Go
rage.
ahead, make the case.
Yeah, we had black rage. All right, very good, Dominic. I got to what?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. By the way, I evidence they collected Lee Harvey Oswald to the murders, too. Mendez trial.
We got to get to Eric Roberts.
Yeah, you know what? He got up at 4 o'clock this morning to drive 100 miles. He lives 100 miles away from here.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he lived in Los Angeles.
He does sometimes, but he also lives upstate, and he's a big fan of the show.
Upstate New York, I thought it was Connecticut.
Yeah.
Well, he lives somewhere 100 miles away. And
Eric's a real good actor. I don't know. I don't see him in anything
He's
anymore.
a fine actor.
I got to pass wind before Eric gets in here. Let me just pass some wind into this microphone. I don't think you can show this on E. This is the gas chamber.
Everybody, you're so germ-phobic. Yet
Where's that noise coming from now?
I don't know. I think that was Billy. What are you doing?
Oh.
Do it again.
It's like crickets.
The air really is coming out of Howard.
you have such a germ phobia, but you'll do that and then put it right in your face. The microphone.
It's me, though. It's my gas.
Yeah, but
I don't mind. I don't have germs. Other people do.
Oh, you don't have germs.
All right, let me take a break and meet Eric Roberts. My own gas, I'm not a phobic of. It's from me. I love all of me.
Even my smell.
I love my own smell. I love my smell. Let you. I'm a dog. Oops. Oops. All right, let me take a break, Robin. I'll get back to the O.J. Simpson. I will conclude with O.J. Simpson. I will talk about the Knick game. Well, it comes down to when is the final game? Tonight?
Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday night will be the last game.
I thought the Knicks were going to actually take it last night. I was out my $500.
I could tell.
Did Jackie tell you about the phone call, the message I left on his machine? I said, it looks like the Knicks are going to win. Could you write me some stuff for Howard to repeat?
He writes for me, not for you. You big toothy bastard.
Just when did you think they were going to win?
Before the game started. I called him before the game started.
So, what do you think now? Do you think the Knicks will win?
You know what? The odds are against the Knicks in a big way. You know what the record is? 18 series in a row, but dating back to 1981. The Knicks have had the odds against them this entire playoffs, and I think they can take it.
Yeah.
Do they have one more big game in them? That's what they need.
I think that, first of all, it's tough for them because they're in a different, they're not in the home stadium. I think that would give them an extra energy, but I think that does, I think in some way psychologically it does help the home team. I don't know why, but it does.
Well, I know Hakeem Olajuwon was saying that he wanted to win it in front of his hometown crowd.
Oh, you
understood? Happy.
You understood when he said that?
Yes, he was happy that it was going back there.
And I just know that, anyone could take it. Who knows? But I'm still going with Houston because I believe the Knicks are chokes. They choke.
Knicks are scrappy. They didn't get blown out last night.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Thank God for John Starks.
Yes.
Yeah, he got hot at the end.
But he was the only one. He didn't have. If he had any support, they would have won.
If I lose the bet, since I have to repeat, you threw in something extra. You said I have to repeat.
It goes both ways. I have to repeat, too.
How about I get to break wind in your face?
No. No.
You can break wind in my face.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Let's do it.
Don't even get me started. You're not going to let me break wind in your face.
Hey, let's increase the bet.
You're not going to let me do that.
I absolutely will. I'm a man. Have I ever bleached on a bet?
Do you think they're going to win?
So you want to back up or not?
I can't believe he would let me do that.
Oh, he can't renege on a bet.
I won't renege.
You know what? I'll tell you why.
Who are you calling a nig? Yes.
I believe that the Knicks will win. I think it's close, but I am not taking that bet because if I lose, I'm not going to let you do that. It's just not right.
Oh,
it's gross.
What's the harm?
Oh, you're such a baby. Why don't you let's go for it?
I'm not going to do it.
You're a pussy. You know what? You are going to lose your bet. I'm going to be up $500. He's going to repeat for the rest of his life.
He's choking just like the Knicks.
He chokes like the Knicks. I can always get a haircut. You can't remove those lips and teeth. All right, dude. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the great Eric Roberts after this.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Well, let's bring in Eric Roberts, who is a big fan of our show, Robin.
I didn't know that.
Eric had a brilliant acting career, and then all of a sudden his sister went and became a superstar. Which I think is, hey, Eric, look at you. Hey, he's in good shape.
He's got a very good body,
Yeah, you've got a good body. You are handsome.
Good body, nice hair.
You're better looking than your sister. Look at the muscles on you. Dude, what are you, in the gym all day?
I know, Howard. This is how I came.
Hey, it's Eric Roberts, for real. The Pope of Greenwich Village.
I love that movie. That
was a great movie. Great movie.
Thank you.
Stop chewing gum, Eric.
Okay.
Okay. So, man, you're almost as pretty. You're like as pretty as a girl. You gotta say. Look at this guy. Look at that.
He had to build those muscles because everybody thought that.
Robin's ready to rape you. Look at
That's why they keep me behind this glass.
I saw your wife on TV. Hubba, hubba.
Looks good. Huh?
She won't come in, huh?
No, well, it's because all the stuff you understand on the air. I didn't want to subject her to this. Howard.
What do you mean?
What are we saying?
She's a good-looking woman. Share her.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm telling you. What do? You work out, 3-4 hours a day? Be honest. Come on, you don't get muscles like that. Look at the guy's chest.
He must really stay at the gym a lot.
What are you, in the gym like...
And then you do that karate stuff, right?
Well, see, I just got...
You don't know karate. You know karate?
I don't know anything about it.
Are you kidding me?
They wanted me to be in that movie with Eric.
Best of the best? Come on.
Best of the best.
I just did a movie called The Specialist with Sly Stallone, and you have to stay in shape to be in a movie with Sly,
Right.
That's the thing.
So how do you do that? You take steroids or something?
No, Howard. No.
What do you do? How do you get the fat off your stomach? Seriously, like I've got that.
That cute little roll.
See, look here.
I do about 100 leg ups a day and hundreds of sit ups.
Really?
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds.
Well, when do you fit that in?
And your eyeball doesn't blow out?
No.
Last night I had the worst attack of my life.
Did you really? I was wondering. You hadn't mentioned it.
I biked 10 miles on Saturday, 10 miles on Sunday.
There you go.
And then boom, my eyeball just completely whacked out.
I think it's all psychological.
I've never had an eyeball problem.
You don't have an eyeball problem?
No.
But then Eric doesn't have to get up at this time of the morning either.
That's right.
Day.
Yeah, he has all day to work out. And what's with your wife? She's as hot in the body department as you?
Does she do all those leg ups too?
Well, a certain kind of leg up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't believe your sister became such a big star. I think in a way it
Did that bother you?
Yeah, it does bother him.
Because you got her into the business. And then boom.
Does it bother you? Seriously, be honest. Yes.
You have to, for the family, say no. I'm sure.
No.
I guess for radio, you have to say no.
The only thing that bothers me is like what I heard just the other day. $12 million she makes.
I know.
And
that bothers you.
That bothers
that would bother me too.
That bothers
How do you compete with that? Because you know what? Siblings are naturally competitive.
Sure.
Am I right? Seriously. I mean.
Well, I think like most of her drive, came off of envy, sure.
Yeah.
And like she has a lot of drive.
But did she have to kick so much dust?
And you know what? Like my sister, it's so great because my sister just got a job and I think she's making $12,000 or something a year. I don't know what she's making. It's great.
Yeah, well, my brother, he's no competition.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's nice that in my family I'm doing pretty well, and everyone else looks ridiculous. Like my father always called me an idiot and a moron. Meanwhile, I'm doing 10 times better than he ever did.
In fact, my brothers could lump theirs together, and they're no competition.
Right. 12 million, huh? Picture. Isn't that something? Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
You're estranged from her, or you're on a good relationship with her?
Well, it all depends. What you consider a good relationship. We're like,
Because you two are a little bit wild.
Answer the question this way, because I see you're having problems.
Yeah, right.
Can you call her on the phone?
Oh yeah, sure.
Really?
You have her number.
Sure.
Yeah, because she's in town.
She is now?
She's at a hotel in town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you know where she is in town now.
Yeah.
And do you talk regularly?
No.
See?
How often would you say you talk?
Once a year.
Maybe
twice.
Maybe.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. I think Julie is hard to deal with. Or maybe Eric's hard to deal with. I don't know. Eric's kind of weird, too.
You weren't invited to the wedding.
Yeah. What the hell's going on exactly, Eric?
I don't know, Howard. I don't know.
You're all shook. What do you mean you don't know?
No,
you know.
I don't know.
Why?
Were you friends at one time?
Honest to God, we were very close at one time. Yeah. Honest to God, the truth.
And you got her started in acting.
The truth is, I know as much about it as you do, Howard.
Really?
I swear to Christ.
There are people between you two now.
Well, see, the only thing I heard about the wedding was a quote from my mother.
Who said, "Oh my gosh, you married a guy with Brillo head." I know what it is. Eric's afraid of Lyle.
No,
he's scared. Looks like he's from Mars. That's what it is. Jackie the Joke Man was invited to the wedding and Eric Roberts wasn't. Unbelievable. That is bad when a brother and a sister.
In a wedding.
I'd like to bring you two together. You should do a movie together. Yeah, I really would. I really would like to bring you together. I'd like to know.
You think that eventually she'd say, I want to do a movie with my brother?
Maybe she's just like weird or something. Because Eric, you have a reputation for being weird and stuff, but are you really weird?
He doesn't think so.
Eric is a little weird.
He is.
Yeah, maybe you're weird.
You gotta admit.
You never beat your sister. You never did anything to your sister bad, and yet all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, why would she be mad at you? You got her started in acting.
And when did it occur? When she hit the big time?
Well, just before Pretty Woman came out, we're on the lot, like down in North Carolina, having lunch and with her then boyfriend Kiefer, and we're having a great time. Pretty Woman hit the scene, and that's pretty much the last I heard. No, the last I heard from was at my birthday party, just after Pretty Woman was out, and she came over to my house for my birthday, had her hair cut and bleached blonde, and I said, "What do you do to your hair?" And she told me, "I've done this for Tinkerbell, and why can't you be supportive? I hate you, etc., etc." And then I heard that Steven Spielberg asked her to change her hair too.
Should she say "I hate you" to him? You want to know something? I'm going to tell you something right now. Sometimes when people get a lot of money, they suddenly feel they're independent. They don't need their families anymore. Up until that time when they don't have money, they have no problem with anyone.
Who are you talking about?
Talking about myself, as a matter of fact. I got a couple of bucks now, and I'll tell you the truth.
You don't need those people anymore.
I've blown out half the family. I'm looking to do the same thing. Haven't talked to my sister in 3 years. Hey,
I thought you were talking about me.
Oh, you're a mess. No, you did it even when you did it when you had no money.
Thank you.
Right. No, I'm not talking about you at all.
Right.
Stop getting paranoid over there. Hey, Eric, how's my hair? Do you think I should, as long as you're an expert on Julia Roberts.
What about the color on his hair?
Okay, never mind my hair. Sometimes, now tell me if you think I'm right about this. All of a sudden, then they become hypersensitive when they get a lot of money. Suddenly it becomes, say one wrong thing, and now it's like, I don't need you anymore. Before she needed him because he was the big star in the family, he could get her parts.
She needed his advice.
She needed his counsel, advice, blah, 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 blah.
But you know what I think it is? You're on the right track, but I think what happens, because obviously she had a lot of trouble with her success. She didn't work for a couple of years.
What is the trouble?
Why is everyone in trouble?
She was getting married. She wasn't married. You know, it was a whole big mess.
And she had to be tremendously jealous of Eric's career because he was getting acclaim all over the place, especially after Pope of Greenwich Village. True?
And then Runaway Train.
That might be what's going on here.
She's never gotten that kind of
Dude, you were close with her the whole time.
All I know is what I hear from other people. And like what I read a quote from my mother said I wasn't invited to the wedding because I might make trouble. And I heard...
Now, what's wrong with your mother?
Yeah, why would she say that?
I don't know.
Have you made trouble? Do you make trouble?
No, I don't make trouble.
Did the whole family side with Julia?
Yeah. You know
she's
what?
the favorite.
Oh, boy, Eric.
To be honest, I think the only trouble that my sisters and I have is that we disagree about my mother. And I don't want to get into it here on the air because it's kind of personal. It's kind of family.
I love personal on
You know,
kind of
I'll get into it, okay?
Right,
the mother was an acting teacher.
Yeah.
No. That's,
so you're already wrong.
That's the fallacy?
See...
She's saying she wasn't much of an actress.
Well, see, my dad ran an acting school in Atlanta, Georgia, called the Actors and Writers Workshop.
Yeah.
Right.
And my mom answered the phone for it.
Oh.
And my mom also taught a class of 5-year-olds, which is basically babysitting.
Right.
But and then when I got famous, about 1980-81, around the Star 80 time,
right?
She started to teach acting under the auspices of having taught me.
Right. Which bothered you because
No, I just ignored it.
Okay.
It was a way for her to make a living, and that's fine. It's kind of silly, but that's okay.
Right.
And then after Julie hit it huge with Pretty Woman, cause she also taught Julia, so she's taking advantage of all these poor people who don't understand that I never took a lesson from her, and Julie never took a lesson up until she left home.
Right.
And I got her to leave home, and so it is what it is.
So you don't get along with your mom. The girls side with mom.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Damn.
It is what it is. Everybody.
Oh, come on. That's
everybody's
a
got
tough
a story.
thing.
What would you do, though, in a
everybody's
situation
got
like
a family problem.
Where your mother goes and all of a sudden she becomes an acting teacher?
I don't know. That's kind of weird. At first thought, I would probably just ignore it and say, hey.
Yeah, Mom was my acting teacher.
She was my acting teacher. But then on some level, I guess it would bother me because...
It's harmless, Howard.
Yeah, I guess it would be harmless, but then why would that break up you and your sister, though? Because then Mom starts working on the girls that you're a dick?
Yeah.
Right.
I guess.
Oh, and so, why would a mom turn on her son like that? That's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
Yeah, your mom ought to get back together with you.
Yeah.
Well, that would be hard because I wouldn't allow it either.
But
Hey, if my mom is listening...
Saying to the press that you might cause trouble at your sister's wedding, that doesn't help your career.
That paints you to seem like you're irrational.
It's a little silly, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I just sent them a congratulatory thing and said, more power to you. And I'm a big fan of Lyle's, so, that's that story. Yeah.
You haven't talked to him? Maybe he could help.
No.
Yeah, but that's kind of embarrassing to have to call up some stranger and say, can you help me out with my sister?
My brother-in-law, I don't know.
Yeah, all of a sudden you feel like a wacko doing that. It's outrageous, but your mom ought to get back together with you. If my mom's listening, hey, maybe open up a radio school in Rockville Center, make a few bucks, do something with your life. Maybe it would do something. I taught him everything I know.
I'm a radio teacher.
I teach radio. Yeah, that would be weird, but I don't think it would break up our... Yeah, I guess I would think kind of weird of my mother.
You would get pretty angry, I think, if your mother did that.
Yeah, I'd get real angry. Because my mother goes around cutting deals all day.
You stop to that right away.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's like a Sylvester Stallone thing. You got Jackie Stallone running around with a big headband and reading people's fortunes. You know what I mean? And so it's wacky. So you had the nerve to say to your mom, I don't think this is a good idea, and then right away everyone turns on you.
No, I never said anything.
You didn't even bring it up.
No,
I don't get this. Do you understand this?
Well, I hear rumors that's, basically the problem. I knew it had something to do with the mom. But,
Julia Roberts ought to call in. She's listening.
Sure. No, she's in London, actually.
Oh, she is?
She's making a movie there with John Malkovich about...
and you couldn't have played that John Malkovich role? You're as good an actor as he is.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you. Hey, you're here, he's not. Malkovich? Highly overrated.
Yeah, well, he does a good job sometimes.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's really
What was that movie Eric was in with Richard Gere? And
Pretty Woman.
Thurman. Stop it.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Final Analysis.
Oh,
That's a really good movie.
was that great?
Yeah, real good movie. Nice job on that.
Thanks. Well,
I feel bad you're in so much pain.
We've got we've got a guy named Phil Joanno to thank for that, who I'm also making a movie for in about a week with Alec Baldwin down in New Orleans.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, that should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You a multimillionaire?
I want to play Alex Heavy.
Are you a multimillionaire?
In pennies, yes.
Really? No, you're not a millionaire status yet, but you've got some dough.
You've probably blown a few million.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Eric's real good at being scary, though. Even sitting here, I believe he's scary. It's like, I know if I say some things, like maybe he'll go off and punch me or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time I saw you on Entertainment Tonight, you were in another family brouhaha. I don't even know what that one was. I couldn't even follow it.
It was.
I am not clear on that one either. It had something to do with your...
It was that other show, not Entertainment Tonight. What's that other...
Hard Copy.
Hard Copy. Yeah, I saw you on that, and you were having some kind of problem. I said, boy, Eric's got a lot of problems.
I wasn't on that. No. My wife went and spoke for us because they were going to run a story that was very negative about the feud between Eric and Julia.
Oh, I see.
And like there was no feud, so it was either they would run the story, that there was a feud,
right,
or somebody would have to speak about it.
Huh.
So my wife, bless her heart, slept down there and said, no, there is no feud.
Did you know O.J. Simpson?
No.
I did. See. I'm in show business. Look at me. I knew O.J.
I really, really hope he's not guilty.
Oh, she's dreaming.
No, I mean, I would hope he's not. Because
he's guilty.
You know what doesn't make sense?
You
know what doesn't make sense?
Why?
Is the fact that, he stabs, like Mr. Goldman. He stabs his wife.
Right.
And he leaves his kids in the house asleep. Assuming
what kind of father is he?
Yeah, but when you're trying to cover up a crime,
the bodies, they'll find the kids. I mean, I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I don't get any of this.
You can't go wake up your kids and take them home with you after you do something like that.
Yeah, I guess not. Say, kids, keep quiet. But not only that, I mean, it's so weird because
we have to sneak past mommy.
What we can't comprehend is a guy who has millions of dollars and apparently has tons of good-looking babes, better looking than even his ex-wife.
But now that the girl that they're claiming was the girlfriend is saying they never had any romance going anyway.
Right.
You kind of wondered, was O.J.
Eric, too, yes.
No, was O.J. just calling modeling agencies and getting dates?
Nah, I think O.J. used to get laid a lot, quite frankly. I'm telling you.
But was it models?
Who cares? Getting laid is getting laid. When you feel a new hand going down your pants, you're happy.
Is that right?
You're not kidding.
I don't know anything about it.
So anyway, Eric's here. You're not even promoting anything. You're here just because you're a fan of the show, right? Or were you here to tell me something?
No, I'm just here because I hear your show every day, and I'm curious why you didn't respond to my last letter I wrote you.
You wrote him a letter?
He wrote me a letter. I didn't understand it.
What did it? Do you have the letter here?
Yeah, I got it. So Gary, bring it in. What was it about?
Can explain what he meant.
Eric wrote me some letter criticizing something.
That's right. You were carrying on about something. The death penalty?
No, the Menendez guys.
Oh, the Menendez case.
Menendez brothers.
This was good. I said my take on the Menendez brothers is they committed a crime. They killed their parents.
No. What you said, Howard, was this. What you said is, my parents spanked me, I'm going to blow their brains out. And that's not what went down, brother. What happened was...
Were you there?
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. The father forced them to play tennis.
Howard.
Come on, Eric.
I mean, look.
These are not boys, okay, Eric? They were in their 20s.
But they were boys when every day, their father, bent them over and, did a number every
Eric, at all times, remember, this is a comedy show. This is a comedy show.
They were adults at this point. They could have stopped their father at this point. They could have left.
Yeah, there's a lot of options they had besides killing their parents. That's what I'm saying. Now I know why Julia's scared.
He probably had the same conversation with her.
No, Eric wrote me a letter saying, gee, you got to remember that there were parents abusing kids here. But I said, yeah, but they were at this point, they're adults. Leave the house.
Not every abused child takes the option of killing their parents.
I know a lot of women, especially, who've been abused by parents, sexually and otherwise, and they have horrible lives as a result. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying no.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe they get over it.
But they never kill their parents because that's just...
Oh, it's not forgivable to you take a shotgun and bang, bang.
But the jury is saying it is forgivable.
Well, what would you rather see them get?
Understand. Well, what I think should happen is all the money involved in retrying them, et cetera, all these millions of dollars should be spent putting them on the road to explain their story. And
no, I was right, Eric. Eric, I'm right. I'm telling you, you got to rescind your letter.
Putting them on the road?
Yeah.
These are not examples.
A road tour.
A road tour, exactly. I think it'd be great.
Now, the next thing you're going to see, the jury for the O.J. Simpson, they're going to give him an endorsement contract.
Yes, and then they'll be doing even more commercials.
That's right. Let me tell you something, Eric. Believe me.
I'm listening.
I'm always right. When you finally get down here in the seat and you realize, that's why I never read it on the air. I said, this is crazy. Eric Roberts is telling me that I should rethink my position that these guys were abused. And I know they were abused, but they're 20 years old or 21 or something.
23 and 25, aren't they?
Can you imagine the damage it does? A 5 and 8-year-old kid or thereabouts gets buggered by his own man.
Yeah. Well, did this happen to you?
No, it didn't.
It seemed like it happened to you the way you were carrying
on. Yeah, you carried on in such a way that we had the feeling that maybe you knew about this personally.
Can you imagine, though?
I imagine it being the worst thing in the world. I mean, I don't
conceive of that.
My father told me what a moron I was every day, and that was bad enough. But at the same point, you don't turn around in 2021. If we're going to stop, listen, if everyone is going to blame...
you could see it if they were 10 or 11 and they couldn't do anything about it, and they shot their parents because they couldn't take this abuse anymore.
That means in every case now, we can say that a child is justified in shooting his parents.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can. No. We can, because all he's going to say
if they did anything,
I
really got affected by it.
We have to have laws. Somewhere you have to say, okay, it's a terrible thing what happened to these boys if in fact they were abused.
Yeah, but these guys were not healthy. I mean. I
know they're not.
Can you imagine the
So then they should be put in a
hospital. Yeah, but also, they're like story ought to get out there about why they're not healthy. Like
I don't think putting them on a road show will do that.
The road show is an original thought, Eric. I got to tell you something.
I don't think people will get that if they see them being toured around in limos, that it was a bad thing.
I mean, next thing you'll have 2 grown Puerto Rican guys on trial. They say they stole a shopping center because they couldn't sneak out of their house. Their parents left them in. You know what I mean? You gotta have law and order here, Eric. Everything is falling apart. Now, you're just upset because your sister won't talk to you. I'm going to straighten that out for you. You just let me handle it.
Okay.
You know what's weird? I'd like to be in on the one conversation Eric has with Julia Roberts once a year. That one big conversation.
Do you run into each other at family functions, or you just totally stay away from your family?
We don't really have family functions. Yeah, like my family.
That doesn't sound it.
It sounds like your family just dysfunctions.
Sounds like half the family's at war with each other. I don't know. Yeah, that's why he had to learn karate in that movie, because for his family reunions.
Yeah, like my family is my wife. Yeah.
Right.
Eliza.
That's my family too.
Yeah.
Ooh, hubba hubba. How'd you get her? She won't come in here? Let me take a break. I'll coax her into the studio. Let me take a little break.
You go out there and charm her.
Yeah, Eric's here. We could talk about neat stuff going on in his family. Oh, there's the letter. Yeah, it's all right. I got the letter.
Okay, don't embarrass me too much.
No, I won't read it. Thank you. All right. You were out of your mind at that time. Julia hadn't spoken to you in 3 years.
It's a good thing he wasn't on that jury. I mean, that's exactly how the jury
Can you
was
imagine if the jury came back and said, look, here's the sentence. This is what we want to recommend to the judge. The boys go out on a road tour. 60 cities to start, where they
then
explain.
We can think about the world.
Yeah, right.
We'll start off with clubs, small clubs.
Small clubs, and then work into arenas. Nassau Coliseum. Hey, speaking of Nassau Coliseum, this Whitney Houston was supposed to appear there last night. My wife was taking the kids. My kids are big Whitney Houston fans.
What happened?
She canceled the show. I got to tell you something. I think she's a prima donna, that's why. So they've had the show running tonight. Tell me what happens between now and tomorrow night.
That she can make it tonight.
Yeah.
And not last night?
Yeah, I always wonder about. Everybody now cancels shows. I wonder if she really lost her voice.
They didn't give you any explanation?
No. My kids were crying. They came home crying.
Well, your kids ought to be locked up, too.
No, Eric Roberts is going to adopt her.
There we go.
Yeah. The defense Whitney Houston is using is black tardiness.
Black tardiness?
Yeah, right.
Black laziness?
Black rage was out. Black stress was out.
Black sloth?
Black laziness was used. That's it. Let me take a break, Eric. It's exciting to have you here. After all, you're a big star. We'll sit down. We'll get to the bottom of your problems with Julie Roberts. I think there's bigger problems than your mom's acting school. I think once you loosen up, you will spill your guts.
We could ask Eric if he helped Sly Stallone compose that letter he wrote to his old girlfriend when he dumped her.
What do you mean?
He was down there working on that movie with Sly, and Sly wrote the letter to Jennifer to tell her it was over.
Well, see, he went to Eric for advice, seeing as Eric gets along so well with his family. He said, help me with this letter.
I want to break up with my girl. What should I do? Write a letter.
You never cheat on your wife?
Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Even when Sly was taking you out and, like, you know, going out and, like, meeting girls and stuff?
Never.
Do you take her with you everywhere?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have to take her for the shooting of the movie with Sylvester Stallone?
She comes and goes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're very attached.
What is she, an aerobics instructor?
No, she's
an actress?
She's a great-looking redheaded broad.
Where'd you meet her?
Yeah, she's an actress, too.
She's an actress?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, man. As a matter of fact, we have a movie that'll be out in the fall called Love is a Gun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a groovy movie, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I looked like you, I could get her, too.
You know the other thing I like that Eric did? He had this, it was on one of the paid movie channels where he and Beverly D'Angelo were like lovers, but they'd play sister and brother, and he would dupe all these women into giving him their money.
Did you get actual penetration off Beverly D'Angelo?
Not even one.
Really?
Yeah, not even one.
I always think I can get her. She seems pretty wild. She was at some rally the other day. She just whipped off her bra.
Yeah?
Beverly D'Angelo. Where was that, Fred?
Zappa show or something.
Yeah, Frank Zappa show. It was like a tribute to Frank Zappa. She just got up in front of the audience and whipped her bra off.
She was moved.
She's got great cans, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Married or not married, you got to notice those. Oh, no kidding. Beverly D'Angelo, huh? She didn't come on to you, huh?
I didn't say that.
Oh. She came on to you, but you didn't do anything, huh?
Let's get my wife, Howard.
Yeah, all right. We'll get your wife. Did you get aroused doing those love scenes with Beverly?
Not even once, Howard. It's really hard with the crew and lights.
No, I don't think so. I don't buy that at all.
It's hard, so to speak.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
He'll tell us about love scenes and how difficult they are when we come back.
Exactly. All I know is I'm completely aroused right now, and I'm not even doing a love scene.
Hey, there are cameras here. It's not stopping you.
I'm constantly aroused. All right, Eric, we'll take a break. We'll get back into this dysfunctional family of yours. This Julia Roberts, who I don't know who she thinks she's become, but I'll get to the bottom of it. And your mother and that whole thing.
She'll learn, won't she?
Oh,
Not
she'll
always
learn.
like this.
Oh, wait till...
Sometimes you need a brother.
Wait till her face scrags out a bit, and suddenly the fame isn't there. Maybe a few bad investments. She'll be calling Eric Roberts on the phone.
Hello, Eric? Hi, Julia.
Who?
Remember a couple of years ago I didn't think my S smelled? My duty didn't stink? Well, now I think my duty stinks again, and I want to reestablish our relationship. It's time we got back together.
What are you telling me? What are you telling me? Now you want to be my friend? What are you, low on cash?
As a matter of fact, I am.
I need a loan.
Oh, now you need a loan.
That's right.
Am I right?
Eric's not saying it.
You call your sister, and you tell her, this is what you say to her. Next time, when do you do for your next phone call? Excuse me, when do you do for your next phone call?
I got no bad feelings against my sister.
No. I have bad feelings now.
You know.
When do you do for your next phone call to her?
You know who I've got bad feelings about, though, Howard?
Who?
Is my sister's agent. I forget her name. My wife will remind me. Who told me that nobody would speak to me if it weren't for my sister Julia.
No.
Really? Oh.
That's wrong.
Well, I'm speaking to you. Yeah. Boy, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
The next time you speak to Julia Roberts, I don't know when the year conversation comes about. I don't know why it's once a year, but it seems to be once a year. You say, hey, Julia, why don't you take a look at Diane Cannon? Time is cruel, honey. Time is cruel. Right? Now you got to slap her into reality. This is how you do it. This is how I work on
Don't
people.
tell her to look at Diane Cannon.
Oh, yes. She'll turn to stone. Say, listen, Julia, you're sitting there all high and mighty right now. Take a look at Diane Cannon. Time is cruel. That's when you're going to need me. Guys age nicely. You're coming into superstar.
Look at how Eric looks.
Look how good he looks. He looks better than he did 10 years ago.
That's right.
And Diane Cannon, it looks like a cannon hit her. That's why they call her Diane Cannon. Smacked her right in the face. Am I right or am I wrong? Be honest, Eric. It's about time to fess up. Say it.
It's true.
All right, look. How do you act, man? Do you think of something sad and then you're sad? Do you think of
How do you
something
get
happy?
that intense?
All right, we got to talk because I'm about to star in my own motion picture. I have to.
Are you going to have to call up that kind of intensity?
Well, Eric's a good actor, so I'm willing to take advice from him.
You know, because he gets those veins popping in his head and everything.
Yeah, let me see the veins pop in your head. All right, take it easy. Why don't you mellow out? I'll get your wife in here. I'll clear up this Julia Roberts situation. The agent said that to you.
Yeah. And
You're doing movies. You're in a movie with Sylvester Stallone coming up.
Yeah.
Screw these guys. Bastards. They always got to pitch you against your family, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Rat thing.
And who is that agent? What have they done?
Nothing. Well, I probably did a lot. He told you that right to your face. No shame in saying.
In fact, it was actually, I think she told my wife, actually, that...
Why are all these people talking to your wife?
Eric doesn't talk to anybody.
Well,
why can't I talk to your wife?
I avoid them, yeah.
All right, let me take a break. Obviously, you're upset. Let me take a break. And I don't know who that agent is. I want to hear the name off the air. I hope her tampon explodes.
Elaine Goldsmith, I think it's her.
Was it Elaine who said that to you?
Yeah.
Said it to your wife?
Yeah.
Well, I hope her tampon explodes.
Oh, and later on,
Ooh,
coming up, Howard.
What? Well, I'm sure she has a side to the story, let's be fair, but if she said that to you, I want the tampon to explode. Yes.
Later on, I do have the name of the person at NBC who made the decision to
that's
go
coming
with
up.
the O.J. Chase as opposed to staying with the Knicks game.
You have the name of the person who decided to take off the Knicks game to go to the O.J. Chase while every other station was on the O.J. Chase. I'm throwing Eric out of here. Eric, get out of here. Because I have to hear the name. Robin, you're a professional.
You applauded me.
Yeah, all right. Eric, you sit tight. I want to talk to you during the commercial, help you with your pain. And then we'll be back right after these words. All right. Now we're back. Well, this is very exciting. Eric Roberts is here, and I've coaxed the very beautiful, very plunging V-neck. Yeah, showing her chest. Both of you are wearing plunging V-necks, as a matter of...
This is what my kids were afraid of.
Why? Why? Because you're a beautiful woman, and I noticed?
Your show,
yeah.
They're only kids.
Yeah.
Don't walk in that room, Mom.
Really? The kids said don't...
Yeah, they warned her. They said, don't walk in with Howard because he'll tear you up, Mom, especially with that plunging V-neck, Mom.
How come some of our microphones work and some don't?
I was going to just say that we can't hear the lovely Mrs. Roberts.
You got to almost jam the microphone down your throat.
Okay, honey, share this one with me.
No, seriously. Here, wait. Try this one. How's that?
This is
That's better. Okay. Now I've got 12
You
microphones.
still have to stay close.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stay close. Thank you.
Howard, Eliza, Howard.
Eliza,
Robin,
now you are married
Robin.
to Eric, or you guys are girlfriend and boyfriend? Oh, you are married. Oh, very nice.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But you
and how does a guy get a girl like you? I mean, does he have to be Eric Roberts caliber, or...
Where did you two meet?
On the MGM Grand in the air.
That's where girls should go to meet rich Hollywood guys.
They ended that.
Yeah, because too many guys were hooking up with girls on there. So in other words, what were you doing that you were on the MGM?
I was coming back to L.A. from New York on business. So I was actually.
And did you join the Mile High Club, the two of you?
No, we're much classier than that, Howard.
What happened? You went out on a date? You walked up to her, Eric, or she walked up to you and said, "Mr. Roberts, I'm a big fan," or anything?
No. See, what happened is, like, I was in another relationship at the time, what have you.
Who were you dating then? Probably a hot model, am I correct?
No. Anyways.
Was it an actress?
No.
No, not in the business. Very pretty, though.
Very pretty.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm reading a script. She's reading a script. We see this. We talk a little bit. I tell her who my favorite writer is, a man named David Raphael. He just happens to be her father. What did I say? Really?
Really?
We started talking. Yeah, he wrote, like, The Way We Were, 3 Days at the Condor, The Firm, etc.
Around midnight.
And she doesn't walk up to you and go, "Oh, can I meet Julia?" None of that kind of stuff, right?
Well, no, there was no Julia.
There was no Julia at that point.
As a matter of fact, I told her about Julia, and I was very proud of my sister, who had made, I think, 2 or 3 movies at the time.
A brother who was proud of his sister, and
you
yet
should
now
talk about her.
Now scorned by the same sister.
Now stop.
No, come on. I'm a little uptight about this.
So I tell Eliza all about my sister, and I told her that she had to go see Mystic Pizza, so she did.
Hey, cut to the good part. When do you get to go to bed together?
Oh, but wait a minute. You're in a relationship, but you exchange numbers and stuff?
Well, he wasn't married.
No.
Were you married to the woman that you were in the relationship with?
Of course
No.
not. I was never going to be married. Oops.
Oops. There it is.
I liked his cat. He had a kitty on his lap in a box.
Little pussy on your lap?
He wanted to be friends, and I thought...
Yeah, and you're like, hey, this guy's really cute. I want to get into
Now,
the
you
sack
knew
of him.
who he was right away.
I did, but I had the same reaction as what Howard said at the beginning. I just sort of hadn't seen him for a while.
And you were really horny for him right away?
No, we were trying to hide from each other.
Come on. You got to be horny for a guy that looks like this. I mean, this guy's prettier than most women.
I thought he was absolutely beautiful, of course.
All right, yeah. I mean, the guy, I think he is. I think I'd sleep with him.
But I was...
I mean, I hate to say it.
Finally.
I think I could kiss him.
Neither of us were.
He's a good-looking guy, man. Right, Robin?
That's a good-looking man.
Son of a bitch. I hate you. You and your sister. Glad you don't get along.
Howard, you and I have met before.
Really? Where?
Because when you used to do warm-up for a show called Throb.
What is Throb?
You warmed up a show?
Don't play dumb, Howard. Don't play dumb.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Yes, you did.
What is Throb?
Throb was a sitcom.
I did warm-up?
Yeah, you did a couple of warm-ups.
You never told me about that, Howard.
I didn't know about it.
You took a gig without telling me?
I need a psychiatrist to bring that back. You're putting me on, right?
No, I'm serious.
No, I never did that.
He never did that.
You're thinking of someone else.
No, I'm not.
I would tell you. Why would I hide the fact?
Well,
I've never done warm. I don't do stand-up comedy.
A long, long time, like in 1985, 86?
No.
Never. You sure?
Positive.
Because the person who started that show and who now is a producer, we all talk about it. We all remember the couple of warm-ups that Howard did.
No, I never have done warm-up in my life.
Wasn't that taped in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
We were on the air here in New York.
Yeah. No,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Who is this person going around saying that was me?
Well, me and Jonathan Prince.
Was the guy good or was he bad?
Wonderful.
Oh, he was? Well, that was me. I didn't want to say anything, Robert. I used to fly to Los Angeles.
No, it wasn't him.
Rob,
all right.
it's probably Sinbad. You're confused. I look like him.
No, it wasn't Sinbad.
So anyway, how long does it take before he gets you in bed?
Years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Literally.
We didn't start kissing until 1991.
Really?
And we got married in 92.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really like
Very romantic.
Yeah.
So all that time you were just working on the friendship, huh?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And it was a good one.
Yeah, you're a knockout.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'm talking to Eric.
He's hard.
And you're very skinny. What's this about your stomach that you're talking about?
No, it's a little flabby. It's not. How do you get it muscular? How do you get everything toned? I think that's genetic.
How often does Eric work out?
It's just work. You got to work
every day.
Every day.
He does?
Yeah, he works out every day. Once in a while, twice a day. And on the days he misses, he sounds like a teenage girl. Complaining about, that.
Yeah. And you guys have kids and stuff, and then what happens when Eric shows up at a PTA meeting or something like this? Is there a big hubbub? There he is, Eric Roberts.
It depends.
I don't do PTA, Howard.
No, but do you? I mean, I'm sure you live in a neighborhood, right? Your neighbors see you walking around and stuff. They're regular people.
They get used to it.
They do. They don't make a big deal.
Yeah, they wave and throw me a frisbee. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, sure.
See, I don't talk to my neighbor. Well, I'll tell you something. If I was married to you, I'd be doing sit-ups every day.
But I would love him if he was schlubby and,
Oh, yeah, sure you would.
Like what you said in your dedication in your book about your wife. She loved you before everything.
Yeah, big deal. I realize that's very meaningless. I realize now how big deal.
Shallow that is.
That was her problem, not mine. No, I remember what was the contract? I know now I remember what it was, why you and Julia Roberts don't get along.
Why?
Because she didn't back you up in a custody case. Am I correct? Am I wrong or right?
I never had a custody
case. That's incorrect?
I never had a custody
I
case.
thought you had a custody case.
No.
Where you were with a girlfriend and you had a kid and you wanted custody of the kid.
There was never any confusion as to where the child was supposed to be?
No, that's why I went on hard copy.
Was that what it was?
To correct that. It wasn't true.
Julia should have backed you up.
No, but we didn't do that.
What happened?
She never sided with your girlfriend over you.
Of course she did.
She did?
But
it
was not over a custody case.
There was never any custody about where the kid should live. There was never any case like that.
All right.
What was the
But why did she side with the girlfriend?
That's not right.
Because you know how when people break up, we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
People go, I don't mind you broke up with me, but I didn't like the way you did it. Have you ever heard anybody say, I love the way you did it, I feel great?
I love how you broke up with me, Howard. Have you ever heard that sentence?
Yes, I've heard that.
So nice.
It was a crummy breakup. And
why would your sister get involved in going against you? This is between you and someone else. Why would she get involved?
Because people do that a lot. They adopt the other family.
Well, there was a teleplay written by a woman named Lila Garrett, who happens to be her mother-in-law. But it's called Who Gets the Friends? And it's about a breakup. Well, like this is.
You broke up with a girl.
Who gets the family?
You broke up with a girl.
Yeah.
And Julia took the side of the girl.
Yes, she did.
But it happens. If Romeo and Juliet wanted the Capulets and the Montagues to get together, all they had to do was get a divorce.
I don't know.
I swear
I always broke up with girls the same exact way each time. Each time I broke up with a woman, I heard her say goodbye. And then I broke up with her. And that was the end of it. And that's the way it should be done.
At least you didn't do it by fax, Eric.
You mean the girlfriend before your beautiful wife?
Yeah.
Thank you.
She got jealous, you're saying? Or you guys didn't have a nice breakup?
They didn't have such a nice breakup. Which Eric takes a lot of responsibility
for. And it came down to
like
a court case or something, and then all of a sudden,
no.
Julia showed up in court.
It's like much simpler than that.
Man, you got a complicated life.
I was
bad about it. She was bad about it. It was a misunderstanding. But Julia Roberts should not have been involved in your breakup. Am I correct or am I correct?
She wasn't involved in my breakup.
Oh.
This is all you saying this, Howard. I'm not saying this, Julie, so if you hear this...
You know what? Wait.
I'm not bad-mouthing you, Julie.
Let's get into some bad
No, but
Come
you
on.
know what?
What?
Because I'm not... directly involved.
Go ahead,
and you
Joey.
sound a little like my mother here.
Thank you.
I agree with her in this, too. I think it's one thing to be compassionate and supportive of the other person,
Right.
but you should be open to listening to both
Eric.
sides.
If she only speaks to him once a year, how's she going to know what he feels?
Yeah, to just really listening. That's all. Maybe you'd even hear him say, "Oh, I'm sorry for this. I feel really crummy about that," and take some responsibility if he actually listened. That's all.
Beautiful. I love turmoil. I
Well,
feed
it's
on it.
interesting to me. If Julia only talks to them once a year, her once-a-year call went to the girlfriend.
Right.
There you go. Well,
I've got plenty to say on this, but I won't embarrass you by saying it here.
Thank you, Howard.
I'll say it
Thank
later.
you, Howard. Thank you, Howard.
Eric Roberts, who has put in fine performances over the years, now has a movie coming out with Sylvester Stallone. What, you hung out with him for, what, a couple of months?
Yeah.
What's his problem? Is he a kook or has he got it together?
You know, he's a really funny, charming guy. The only...
Womanizer, true?
Well, he didn't womanize me. Let me put it
He didn't come on to you in any way? At no point during the filming, he never came on to you?
No.
You guys didn't rub oil on each other's chest to get the hair off or anything like that?
He offered me his next movie, even.
Really?
Yeah. And then, I mean, he hands me the script on the set. Here, Eric, I want you to be in this.
Really?
So I take this.
Nice
and I look
impression
at
of Sylvester.
And it's called Judge Dredd, right? I look at it, I take it home, I read it. It's kind of futuristic. It's based on the comic book character Judge Dredd. I think, wow, that's kind of cool. Well, I could spend like 5 months in a helmet. Sure.
That would be cool.
So I go back and I say, have you offered this to me? He goes, yeah, sure. You want it? I said, yeah.
So you're going to do it?
I'll do this. So then I had my agent call him up and, what? He didn't know anything about it.
Oh,
really?
No.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious of him. Did he ask for Julia's phone number? See, that could have been it.
Look, I don't know how the guy could be a womanizer with his standards about bodies. There was a 5-week-old baby there, and he was pointing to a beautiful baby.
Yeah.
Look, absolutely no body fat, he says about this 5-week-old baby.
It's true. It's a true story.
Now,
I think he's a little obsessed.
A little bit. So,
Well, you're having a good life. It's despite the fact that Julia and you don't get along. It sounds still like you guys are having fun.
we're doing.
I have a great life.
I will bring you
I have
together.
a great wife, too.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Obviously, no body fat on her. What, do you work out, too, like a madman, or what?
I swim.
Yes, you do.
A little.
She swam the English Channel, I think.
Yesterday.
Yes. And very beautiful. I would describe you as auburn-haired, 38, 24, 36. Am I close?
Ooh, you're very close, Howard.
Yes.
Very intuitive, Alex.
Eric takes her measurements every day. To make sure she stays within a proper framework. Guy's smart. I didn't measure my wife for a few weeks. She let herself go.
She let herself slip.
That's right. She let herself slip. But I'm glad you came in today.
I am too.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And you guys sound like you're having fun, even through the pain of this rather dysfunctional Eric Roberts family.
You should do a shrink show, Howard.
Yes, I'm thinking of doing that next.
You're very talented.
Robin says the same thing every day.
Yeah, Robin, you're right.
Right. And thanks for coming.
He needs a shrink. He doesn't.
And thanks for coming in.
You bet.
And we look forward to seeing the next movie with Sylvester Stallone. Is there anything coming out before then?
There's a movie called The Nature of the Beast with me and Lance Henriksen. That's wonderful. Lance Henriksen is perfect in this movie.
And when will we see that?
I think around the fall.
All right. Well, come back and let us know when it's, come back and do a promotion around.
I'll do that.
Here's your book that I signed. Cherish that.
I will.
That'll go up in value with time.
Thank you, Howard.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin.
That's something Julia doesn't have.
Yeah, Julia will not receive a book.
Stop it.
Now you have something Julia doesn't have. Eric Roberts has my book signed. And if Julia came in here and asked me to sign her book, I wouldn't do it.
No.
I ran into his sister one time. I was up at Letterman doing the show, and they had on one of Julia's many boyfriends. Or something. I don't know. She was running around with a boyfriend up there.
I ran into her to play once.
Didn't even pay attention to her. I didn't give her the time of day. Good-looking girls like that, I never give the time of day. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I blew her off. She was sitting there wondering, who's that mystery man?
And you wouldn't even speak. Is that it?
She is good-looking. When you were growing up, you never saw her naked?
I've seen her naked many times.
You have?
Yeah.
Did you? Now, I wonder.
Well, that wasn't the body you saw in Pretty Woman, though.
No, it wasn't. No.
But she's got a pretty good body. No?
Eric thinks she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
My sister is indescribably beautiful.
Did you? So are you. And you never got aroused over your sister. I mean, I know it's because she is so beautiful. One could see. I think maybe.
I'm sure.
I wonder if Julia Roberts was my sister, would I be aroused?
No.
Nope.
No.
Not if you were okay.
Who said I'm okay? I mean, you'd see her dancing around naked in a room or something?
I saw between like the John and the bedroom door. Sure,
really?
Many times.
Parading around, trying to get your eye somehow.
Oh, stop!
I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something.
If you wanna not be attracted to somebody, just imagine that they're your sibling, and
there you go. Well, that's what I'll do with you. He's talking to Eric. All right. Anyway, so that had to be pretty exciting, seeing Julia Roberts mature, go through the different periods of seeing her breasts develop and things like that. That's
I'm
exciting.
sure he wasn't watching that.
Well, I drilled a hole through my sister's wall.
He wasn't even around.
I saw it in my sister.
But what's the age difference with you and your sister?
4 years. It's perfect.
Well, the age difference between us is 11 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank goodness Eric was out of the house.
He was gone, yeah.
I'm glad he was out of the house. So how could she be so angry with you? She hardly knew you. You were 11 years older.
That's why she's more attached to the mother.
Yeah. Yeah, the mother.
The mother,
Yeah. Julia Roberts, yeah.
The old lady,
Yeah. Acting school, yeah.
Drop dead.
Right. We take our guest side in every
Absolutely.
dispute. We're on your team now.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Yeah, I remember when you had Richard Lewis on and you talked through his whole thing. That was really funny.
Really?
Yeah, he was going through a spiel trying to be serious.
Right, and I wouldn't listen to it.
And you and Robin were back and forth like, is he still talking? Come on.
Boy, I wish Julia Roberts was my sister. I'd play it a whole different way.
You would be devastated.
How would you play it, Howard?
I would kiss her ass every which way but Tuesday.
Is that
Absolutely. Why not?
That's a bad idea.
So if she had asked you about the hair color, you would have said...
Said, you look unbelievably good no matter what hair color you have. Who would be honest with her? You made the mistake of being honest. You thought you had something stronger. You had the blood between us. You could say to her, excuse me, I don't think your blonde hair looks
That's not good for you.
She sounds a little wacky to me, that would upset her so much.
Well, it might have been.
So I'd say, hey, she's a big star. So what if she's wacky? I'd send her.
Wait a minute.
No, wait a minute.
I'd send her birthday cards 364 days a year.
Wait a minute.
That's wacky. To break up a brother-sister relationship over the blonde hair.
Hold it, I just thought of something else.
What happened?
It's crazy.
That was the last time I saw her, I think.
Oh.
She walks into my house and I said to her, what do you do to your hair?
Right.
I'd be crushed too. You know how you overreact to your family.
You know how women are.
Your mother,
but for God's sake, it's her brother. Get over it.
It did look bad.
I mean, what she did? She walked. Me, on the other hand, I am such a louse because she's Julia Roberts. I would be totally phony because I'd be kissing her ass. I said,
so you forget she's your sister.
Yeah, don't forget. Now let's assume that I have no money. Let's say this is, and Julia Roberts hits it big.
Let's say you're this radio guy.
All right. Well, she's hitting it big.
Yeah.
I figured, well, maybe she can do something for my career. So she comes in, she shaves her ears off. I go, oh, that looks good. I'm going to shave my ears off. That's what I would do. That's how shallow I am. You're an honest guy. I can't do it.
Do unto others is the best rule of thumb.
No. Here's the best rule of thumb. You want the best rule of thumb?
What?
Lie.
There you go.
That's the way you do it.
Let me ask something. What did you do when she broke up with Kiefer Sutherland?
You know, as an experienced older brother,
he danced.
You don't do anything.
Right.
You let your sisters do their thing the way they'll do it. You know?
Maybe she was looking for some support in that area, too.
I think he lent support then, as I recall.
Of course he did.
I always am supportive.
You're a supportive guy.
Oh, you can tell, huh?
I can tell right now I feel very supported by you.
I just wanted to make sure he didn't blow it then.
I like Kiefer, though.
You do like Kiefer?
You know it's weird? I've liked almost all of her boyfriends, but the one I liked the best is a guy named Liam Neeson.
Yeah?
He was a...
Yeah, but he's a womanizer.
He was a great... No, he's not. He's a great guy. What are you doing, Robert? What are you doing?
Lots of guys think womenizers are great guys.
I'll tell you something. I'd like to marry your sister. Let me tell you, I'd marry your sister, boy. She wouldn't know what hit her. I wouldn't be like Lyle Lovett sitting and waiting for her to come home. I'd be over on the set with her. I'd be servicing her every night. She wouldn't have time to think about other guys. He's playing it all wrong. He's going to lose her.
You think?
Yeah, well, it's the best thing that ever happened to him. Where's he going to get a piece of ass
How
like
did he
that?
manage to leave home and stay on tour?
You're talking about my sister.
I know. I didn't mean to call your sister a piece of ass, but she is, and you know it. I'd be closer to Julia Roberts than her own bra. I'd be stuck to her. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I'd play it. I wouldn't. Listen, if I had a wife that looked like Julia Roberts, and she's got all that dough, I'm satisfying her 2-3 times a day. She don't know what hit her. Oh, I'm going to go off and make a movie on my own. No, you're not. I'm going in the suitcase with you.
Maybe they're more secure than that.
Oh, yeah, it's not working out from what I hear. I'd handcuff myself to her. She'd be like a fugitive. I'd be tighter on her than O.J. Simpson, certainly than the police were on O.J. Simpson.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We can't ask Eric how the marriage is going.
No, he doesn't get to see anything. I know more about how the marriage is going than Eric does.
There's too much. I think there's too much fuss made about her various relationships. She has about the same amount of relationships as any regular person in the early 20s.
Really?
Yeah, but she gets engaged to everybody.
Oh, man, let me tell
Eric
you
did
something.
that, too.
I know, but let me tell you something. With a girl that good looking, with that kind of stardom, if I had the chance to be with her, I would first of all do things to her that would make her ecstatically happy. Number one, sexually, I'd be on my hands and knees doing things to her that she hasn't, I'm sure would make her head spin. That's number one, Eric. Pardon that it's your sister.
Talk on my sister.
I know, but I'd give her pleasure, and you can't knock pleasure. And let me tell you, I'm clean as a whistle. I wouldn't give her venereal warts or any other disease.
This is so mad. You guys think...
That's how I would take care of that girl.
You're very scatologically oriented.
She is a princess. Don't forget it.
Well, I understand that you'd have to put up with your wife falling in love with all of her co-stars.
No, it wouldn't happen. I'd be there. She'd be so pooped sexually, she wouldn't even look at these guys. That's what I think.
Us Robertses, we are professional fiancés.
Yes, I know. I know you've had a lot
I
of...
retired.
Who were you engaged to? Give us a quick resume of some of the women, some of the best women that you've been engaged to.
I won't do it.
Why not?
Why? I think you should do it.
You think it's tacky?
Come on, Eric.
He's going to come up with something.
Who are they? Name one good one.
One good one.
Right. Name one good one. Estee Lauder.
No.
I'm giving him...
Estee.
S.T.
Well,
as a
Stephanie...
you know what? I really don't want to.
Susie Seymour.
I really don't want to.
Seymour. S.T.
But here are the first names. Here are the first names.
All right.
Sandy, Dana, Kelly, Glynis.
Sharon Tate.
Glynis, too? I didn't know that.
Sharon Tate?
I don't know.
No.
You were part of the Manson family, admit it. All right, anyway, Eric Roberts, it's an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm very honored to meet you. You're a great actor.
Fun being here. I love all the guys in this room. Everybody's great.
Everyone's up.
I can't believe you didn't read his handwriting.
I haven't been able to read his handwriting for 30 years. Listen, it's exciting, isn't it?
It's so segregated. You have a black woman, though, in a booth.
And isn't that wrong?
Well,
isn't it time to end all of that?
And she don't eat from my plate, see you. All right, listen, thanks for coming on the show.
Have a good day, you guys.
Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll do the news of the day.
All right.
Thank Eric Roberts. Looking forward to all the films he has coming on.
Yeah.
And thank the very lovely Mrs. Roberts.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I will hug you goodbye on the way out. All right. We'll be back right after this.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Oh, here's another review of our E-television show. What is it?
Eric had something he wanted to say to you before he left.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Eric's back.
I hate you.
No, there's one thing I forgot. You asked about, movies I have coming out. And there's one that's made for you, Howard. It'll be on HBO or Showtime or Cinemax or something like that. And it's called Sensations. And I play a professor, and I spend the whole movie making love to this broad with these...
Big cans.
With these fake cans.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
So
who wrote that?
I wrote it for Eric.
Great.
So when will that be on?
Sensations. I think it starts at the end of the summer.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's that story. Goodbye, and thanks a lot. I had a good time.
Hey, good. And it sounds like a tough life you're leading, making love to a woman with big fake cans.
Big fake cans. Bye-bye, guys.
And you were naked in it?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Glad to see that. All right.
He'll
see
tune
Eric.
in just for that.
I'll just tune in to see you naked. Can't see why. He seems like a nice guy to me. I can't see why Julia takes everyone else's side against the guy.
She's spoiled.
He might be difficult outside of the studio. I don't know. Seems like a decent guy.
What, are you already making up to Julia?
What?
Are you already making up to Julia, trying to find
Sure, why not?
why she might have dumped him?
I'd rather sleep with her than Eric, but... Just covering my ass. So we received another review on our E-television show. So far we got a 3.5-star review in the New York Post. And then David Biancouli basically said he sees some... He
sees hope.
He sees hope in the show, but it wasn't the right bits chosen. Yeah, a lot of time to spend on choosing the right bits. This guy in Philadelphia Inquirer basically says, he does this whole article about how funny I am and all the different moments, how funny I am, talking about this and that. But basically he said, my appearance is so ugly. I'm so vile to look at. And meanwhile, you got to see this guy's picture. He goes, why would Howard Stern put himself on TV? He's so vile to look at. Meanwhile, this guy's name is Jonathan Storm. He's got a Fidel Castro beard covering half his face. It looks like a pubic mess on his face. Why does he put a picture of himself in the paper if he looks like this? Sorry, dude, not everything's about looks. Sometimes talent has to carry you. Saturday, Stern staged 2 sneak previews for a full hour from Friday's radio show. It was ugly. He says, not to say that there weren't funny bits. The bits were funny. The content was funny. It was fun to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
He says the show featured some unusual Stern cronies, along with New York Rangers hockey star Brian Leach and Mark Messier, rambling aimlessly about in outrageous territory. Stern almost always finds a shock or a laugh somewhere. So you would say, wow, this guy's going to give us a good review.
This is a good review.
He casts righteous indignation aside, embraces polymorphous perversity.
Whatever that means.
He says, you can find fun with Stern, but who wants to look at the guy? The vulture's beak nose, stringy black hair, and pasty white, scrawny shoulders make for unappealing visuals.
Did your shoulders get on?
Yeah. I got to agree with the guy. But I did a whole bit about how scrawny my shoulders were, you know, pointing it out. Stern's eyes aren't bad, but he quickly donned those dorky sunglasses when he realized he was on TV. Wonder who wrote this, my ex-girlfriends? Stern's sidekick Robin Quivers can be an attractive sort, but E has set its Quivers cam so tight it looks right up Robin's left nostril. Yuck. I had a long discussion with them about our cameras being too tight in general, but that's been rectified. With teeth... Oh, I see. In Saturday's early installment, one of Stern's sidekicks, Boy Gary, turned up for some good-natured ribbing. With teeth that look like the grill of a 57 Chevy, he's one of the few men in the world uglier than Stern. Probably one reason Howard hired him. By the way, you can see how ugly I am tonight at 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Stern made a... Hey, Baba Booey, nice...
I said, I'm listening, and I said, who's he talking about? Somebody goes, you.
Yeah.
He said I was uglier than that rabbi?
What rabbi?
Oh, I don't know. I just heard one line. Who did he say was uglier then?
Than
Howard.
Me.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
That's not so bad.
I thought he compared me to the Rebbe.
Stern made a big deal of the rugged handsomeness of his New York station manager, a moderately stylish, slicko radio exec who resembled Kevin Costner in this company where David Brenner would be good-looking.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was supposed to be a review of your looks.
Yeah, and then the guy goes, I rattled on too much about myself, which he says is boring. Of course, I've built a whole radio career out of millions of listeners talking about myself, but David Bianacouli said that, but John Poteritz said that was funny. So you can't please everyone. And I think, like the radio show, critics will always bash me, but it'll be tremendously successful, and it'll be a TV show that'll be successful ultimately.
And this is the first review he's been able to have fun with in a long time.
Yeah.
Doesn't recognize that. Who else would he dare to call ugly who's on TV?
Yeah. And there's plenty of ugly people on TV, Robin. Name a few. Larry King.
Fun. That guy who plays Chief. The Chief in that stupid TV series. They never say he's ugly.
Yeah, and Rush Limbaugh's no prince.
No. Yeah, he's hard to look at. Nobody points that out.
Well, maybe I should wear a Greg Kinnear mask and be as bubble-headed as him and not even be able to interview anyone. Because then he rattles on here about how great my interview was. He says, did you hate the great Gretzky? Stern asked the hockey boys who spoke of spending time with the NHL legend. Did he get first choice of the women? Have you ever seen him naked? Stern asked. Is he the great one? The answers for all the inquiring minds are out there are yes and yes. Stern asked the questions many of us would ask if we had a few beers in us or if we were still in junior high school. Friday on the radio and Saturday on TV, he cracked jokes about O.J. Simpson's apparent ineptitude as a double murderer. He made racist comments about Ben Vereen. What? When he found out that Messier had gone out with Madonna, it was off to the races with giggles and guffaws and line after line that didn't exactly leap directly from the picture tube into the FCC's complaint box, but it never would have found its way into the newspaper. So he's talking about all this great stuff, right? This is tremendous stuff. The guy's interviewing skills are great. He's asking questions none of us would ask. We can't even print in the paper what he's asking.
I think he's saying this is different from what you normally see on TV.
Right. And then basically says, well, I'm an ugly guy, so the TV show is no good. Well, okay. So, in other words, if you're not handsome, you shouldn't be on TV.
Regardless of what you have to say.
Yeah. If you might have something cool to say that people might want to tune in, but if you're not a stereotypically good-looking guy, you shouldn't be on TV. So we're going to be stuck with a bunch of Greg Kinnears who sit there with an empty head full of mush, don't know a thing to say in the world when they interview, but he'll look good. Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying we want from our TV, Robin?
I guess he likes television the way it is.
According to the brilliant Jonathan Storm. And look at this. Jonathan Storm I've never heard about in the Philadelphia Inquirer because he's sitting in for Gail Schuster, a woman who actually gives me some nice reviews. The day my TV show debuts, this guy had to sit in for Gail Schuster. And by the way, if anyone was noticing, Jay Leno is no male model, and neither is David Letterman. Well, John Poderitz of the New York Post thinks I'm a 3.5-star show, and that was only the first one. Right, Robin?
That's right, Howard.
Screw everyone.
They were supposed to review content and stick to that. How dare they? Make your looks an issue. I want to see every review he writes from now on and see if he comments on the looks of the people involved. Like David Brinkley's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's comfortable to look at. Big old wrinkled skin. Chimp.
Andy Rooney should be on a blank screen.
Yeah, Andy Rooney's fun to look at.
Any of those 60 Minutes guys.
Why doesn't he write about how Andy Rooney is disturbing? I mean, if anybody's more disturbing looking than Andy Rooney, I can't think of him. He's got eyebrows that grow into his eyes.
They're like bangs.
Yeah, he's got, when they show his hands, it's not only liver spots, but his teeth are completely yellowed. His fingers are gnarled and pudgy, and I don't know. He's really uncomfortable to look at. But the guy's got something to say. So who would review him based on his appearance?
A lot of times I get lost in Mike Wallace's face and can't keep track of the story.
Yeah, and no offense, but Jonathan Storm, the guy writing the review, the guy's covered his whole face in a Fidel Castro beard.
What's he hiding?
Yeah, how about shaving that off so we can see what's underneath instead of covering most of your head? Why would you put a picture like that in the newspaper? I know I'm better looking than him. Maybe he's jealous. Baba Booey's better looking than him. Baba Booey used to hide with a mustache. Well, anyway. It's fun. It's fun to be alive and be so noticed.
I thought, once again, it's rather interesting. I've never seen a review of any other E! television show, but you are reviewed.
Yeah, well, that's what E! is after, so.
Well, yes, I'm just pointing out, once again, the special treatment you get.
Yes. Oh, all three newspapers so far. The New York Post, Daily News, and, of course, the Philadelphia Inquirer with major pieces on the show. So, you tell me why they're writing about it. And according to most reviewers, I always suck, even on the radio. They can't figure out, but they're in touch with the public and what they want.
They don't understand anything. I don't think anybody in the media understands anything. Radio, television, newspaper.
Yeah.
They always ask, why is it that Stern is popular?
Not only the
Just
media.
can't accept.
Fred asked that. He can't figure out why the show's popular, and he works on it. Want to do a little news?
Yes, I do.
You sound definite about it.
Well, I am. That's why I came here this morning.
Right.
O.J. Simpson will be arraigned today. So we will see O.J. in court for the first time. And the papers lead me to believe that it's going to be televised.
Oh, great. I got to get home.
I can't believe this. It's going to be somewhere around 11:30 Pacific time. So that would be around 2:30 our time.
Let's hope there's a basketball game on during it so that some NBC executive can cut away to it. Did you name the NBC executive?
I have not yet.
You're
going to be surprised. Yes, in the body of this story, I was going to bring that up. I just wanted to let everybody know that O.J. will be televised today in his arraignment. So you'll get to hear what kind of plea he's going to make.
Just so I don't have to sit in front of the TV all day, what time do you think that this could be happening?
Are you listening to me?
I say it again, I'm not. I was distracted by something. Go ahead.
Between 2 and 2:30 our time. That would be 11 and 11:30 Pacific time.
If you had to look at Fred, you'd be distracted, too.
O.J. has been in his 7-by-9-foot cell all weekend. He is segregated from the rest of
hold on.
prison population. Don't do that.
What do you mean, segregated?
Well, for his own safety and protection as well.
The guy's not going to do something to himself. What can he do to himself?
Protection from himself.
What can he do to himself in prison? They took away the sheets so he can't hang himself. The guy's not going to...
really wants to kill themselves,
he would have done it already.
They can do it.
Oh, he doesn't want to kill himself. He had a gun to his head in the car. He didn't pull the trigger.
Why was he waiting? What was he waiting for? He's driving around. You don't need to drive around.
He wanted to see what kind of cell he'd get.
Good. And that is one of the questions. There are several questions that people are asking now. So since you take it upon yourself to explain everything to us, I thought maybe you should answer these questions.
Go ahead. Let me finish picking my nose on camera, and then go ahead.
Are you done?
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, what effect will O.J.'s celebrity have on the conduct of his trial and the jury's reaction to the presentation of evidence in this case?
In this case, there will be tremendous O.J. Simpson backlash. We found now that there are even people who cheer as O.J. drives by in his car. But what is going to happen when reality sets in?
And the evidence is presented?
The grisly crime will come to the forefront. Unfortunately, I'm afraid they're going to cut a deal, number one. They're going to say...
And he'll never go to trial?
If O.J. says he did it, they'll give him a life sentence instead of the death penalty, and I think that's wrong. I think that O.J. should stand trial. I don't think a deal needs to be cut. They have enough evidence in this case to prove that O.J. was at the scene doing this stuff. He should stand trial. I don't understand what kind of deal they need to cut. A deal would be despicable in this case. I think that what is going to happen if it does go to trial...
I don't have the answer to this question myself, but if someone does plead guilty...
Yeah. They cut a deal.
Yeah, nobody's going to plead guilty to the gas chamber.
No, in other words, for a confession of guilt, if he gives a confession of guilt and saves, let's say, the taxpayers' money of going to trial, no one is going to give a confession of guilt just for the hell of it. He will give it and say, I don't want the gas chamber.
Right.
So what's going to happen is he'll spend the rest of his life in jail.
Yeah.
I am saying we must bring this guy to trial because here is a guy who... The evidence points up that he did it. They have a good case. They should have the trial and bring this guy before a judge with the hopes of getting him the gas chamber. No deal should be cut.
Well, in California, the way it's handled is first there is the evidentiary part of the case where they try to get you convicted.
Yeah.
And then the jury must hear more evidence to determine if they should get the death penalty.
Yeah, I think they should go that route, but it probably won't because for some reason everybody cuts deals. Some kind of deal is always cut. If a jury sees the grisly pictures, they'll forget every screwy touchdown that O.J. was responsible for. Man and a woman are murdered brutally.
They keep saying, though, that no one of this prominence has ever been charged with such a crime.
His celebrity will backfire in the sense that people are going to want to set him up as an example. For some reason, the first time that O.J. was brought before a judge many years ago after his New Year's Eve beating that he gave his wife,
1989, yes.
the judge must have, I don't know, maybe he was in a coma, the judge, but he allowed this guy off with not even a slap on the wrist. He paid off a couple of dollars. It was meaningless.
$700.
$700 to a multimillionaire is nothing. And the guy was allowed to call a therapist from a telephone. Now,
that was Judge Ronald Schoenberg.
Judge Ronald Schoenberg, who really, they should take away his judgeship. This is a guy, if he had just given O.J. some prison time, even a month, he would have lost his deal with Hertz. He would have been embarrassed. These two people might still be alive. Judges are just out of line, and someone's got to teach the judge a lesson.
Now people are coming forward. You know, just before he was arrested, a lot of people were saying, I never knew about O.J. having this problem.
People said, how was it kept quiet? How was it kept so quiet?
But now you have people coming forward saying, yes, the beatings were real. The last time the police came to this house to try to charge O.J. with something, he did the same thing. He jumped in his car and ran away. That was the time the police were called and wanted to arrest him for battery or spousal abuse. He got in his car again and ran away. This is his pattern.
This judge should sell his robes to Zorro and be done with the bench. And really, if there is anyone listening to me who has some sort of say in all of this...
You make a perfect point as well, because O.J. was perturbed at police the time they did arrest him for beating his wife, because they had been called 8 times before, and they never arrested him.
So he was like, why are you arresting me now?
Yeah, why are you arresting me now? This is the 9th time you've been called.
And the police are made to look like fools. They finally take this guy, O.J. Simpson, in, and a judge says, all right, O.J., listen, this is nonsense. Give me $700 and call up a therapist or something on the phone. What kind of therapy session takes place on the phone? What is he calling?
Hey, how you doing? How's your golf game? How's your golf game?
Probably, I don't know, maybe the judge was an O.J. fan. He said, hey, O.J., come to my son's bar mitzvah. O.J., let's play golf at my country club. I don't know what goes on, but who cares about that for now? You asked me a question. You said, what would the influence of his celebrity
have to do with the trial?
It will backfire. There's going to be tremendous O.J. backlash. Once people come to their senses, everyone's a little stunned right now because you can't figure out why a guy who had millions of dollars and all the women he could choose, why this guy would even obsess on
I still find people who say O.J. has been set up.
Who do you find is saying this? Because I'm going to smash their head into the wall.
You would be shocked. Somebody you have a great deal of respect for.
Billy West?
No. You don't respect him, I hope.
It's true. I really don't. I just couldn't think of anyone I respect.
No, one of the owners of this company.
Hey, you're kidding me. Not the one that I really look up to.
Yes.
Nah, I think you're setting him up. No, he's saying it as a joke because
I don't know.
Because O.J. sits on the board. He's joking with you. I think he knows exactly what's going on.
He said, no, I think that O.J. was set up.
No.
You'll find that maybe he had some kind of a gambling problem.
He's joking with you.
Or some kind of a drug problem.
Let me tell you something. Listen, he also thinks the Canucks still have a chance in the Rangers series. Now, look, this is a company of tremendous loyalty. When I got into my FCC problems, they stuck by me.
You think that's it? That they're still sticking by O.J. simply because he was on the board?
O.J.'s on the board of directors of this company that we work for, and they're sticking. Listen, they stick with the grease man, Robin, and he's got no ratings.
That's true.
I mean, that's loyalty.
True.
I would stick with O.J. before I stick with the grease man.
But let me tell you something else. Yeah. I just found out there was a meeting of the board on the Monday after the murder, and if he had been here for that meeting, he wouldn't be in this trouble now.
That's right.
But he called earlier to say that he couldn't make the meeting because he had to be in Chicago.
Yep. Well, there you go. That's one of the ironies, Robin. You know, by the way, O.J. probably will have to give up his position on the board. I'm very
think?
sick. Yes, I understand.
They didn't say anything about putting him off.
Board member Robert Chambers said that he is against keeping O.J. on. Yes, Baba Bohai.
One of our black listeners on the phone, a woman from Philadelphia. She's not, like, very angry, but she thinks there's, there's sort of two sides to everything. She doesn't think O.J. should get the death penalty.
Listen, just because you're black, you don't have to... No, O.J. hasn't been black in 20 years. He hasn't hung around with blacks. He had a white wife.
True. Who was his best friend in the car?
Another black guy who's almost white.
Hi, Howard. Hi, Howard.
Hey, baby.
Hi, Robin.
How am you?
It's time for you to retire because I want your job.
Oh.
You see, Robin, you're lucky.
You're lucky,
Let's
Robin.
pretend for a second now that all of the people on this planet are the color green.
Okay.
Including O.J. Simpson, including the woman on the phone, including me, and Fred, of course, is green because he's from Mars. Let's pretend we're all green. Is O.J. Simpson guilty? Let's take a vote now. He's green. He's not black anymore, and you're not black. What do you think?
I don't know yet.
All right, see? You're confused.
You still don't know.
But
you still don't know.
Well, let's say he did everything he's been accused of. What about then?
But that's not my comment.
What is your comment?
On the death penalty.
What about the death penalty?
I think that if they haven't killed Charles Manson, who did a more hideous crime than O.J. did, and I'm not condoning murder, if they haven't killed him yet, then they should not kill O.J. Simpson, if he did it.
Let me.
Charles Manson is 10 times worse than murderer.
No,
than O.J. Simpson.
Charles Manson should be in the gas chamber as well.
This is a technicality of the law.
That's my comment.
Well, your comment is off base. In other words, just because Charles Manson isn't dead doesn't mean.
But there's a reason for that.
Right. What's the reason?
What is the reason?
The reason is they changed the laws. You know, they banned the death penalty at a certain point.
Right.
That absolved Charles Manson. You couldn't kill anybody who had the death penalty banned while they were under its jurisdiction.
The law didn't allow it, but now the law allows it, so let's get on with it.
Okay, well, that's an answer.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank God we had an answer.
Well, we took care of that very simply.
Listen, if I had it my way, the line in front of the gas chamber would be as long as the welfare line. In fact, it'd probably be the same damn line.
Oh, here we go.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more news right after these words.
Yes, we will.
The Howard Stern Show.
Where were we in the news?
We were still at O.J. Simpson. You had answered the question as to how the jury would handle his celebrity.
I'm playing with myself on camera. This is crazy. This is absolutely mad.
What are you 64?
Is there a camera under the desk?
I hope not. If there is, I'm terribly embarrassed.
That's what we need.
I'm ready to end the E! show.
Taking away all your fun.
It is.
The other question was, why were those people cheering O.J. on the side of the road?
That is a weird question. I guess it's just like, you know, they got caught up in the moment. It was like O.J. was running for the great touchdown. I said, this is what O.J. always wanted. It has been years since he got to run across the field and have the fans cheer.
He must have missed
so
that
now
kind of adulation.
He's in his car and everyone's cheering. I don't know. It was like a football game or something.
Go.
Quite frankly, my theory is that a lot of people were seeing him on TV, you know, following this thing on TV. They ran out. They had their cameras. It was like a parade of some kind. It was some bizarre scene. I don't think they were thinking of all the implications that the fact that the guy had just murdered
why
two
not?
people.
Two people were dead, and O.J. was being charged with their murder, and he was running away from the police.
I'm not defending those people's actions. They're stupid. But I'm saying they got caught up in this media circus, and they could have. Who knows? They might be waving there on TV. I don't know. They're wacky.
Well, there were signs. Go, juice, free O.J.
Oh, were there?
Oh, yeah. And people were screaming those things as well.
Free O.J.
Go, O.J., go, O.J., go.
Run, O.J., run.
What color were they? Were they white or black?
It was a lot of white people out there on the roadway.
Well,
but
I have no
when they got back to the house, they said people even scaled the wall of his mansion to get a glimpse of what was going on.
We have O.J. fever. That's the only way to explain it.
Going into, you know, there's cops with guns. They had snipers in bushes.
I heard that
And you're scaling the wall to get a closer view?
I heard one of the commands were that if O.J. resisted, to take him out.
Oh, yeah.
They were going to take him out.
They were perfectly capable and willing, and they had people in place. Back at the house, they had police officers disguised as bushes.
Honey, what'd you do today? I was a bush.
So that he wouldn't know when he drove in that there were cops already there.
Good for the cops.
But there were people willing to scale the wall. In fact, after Al Cowlings got out of the car and started to walk away, a person who had scaled the wall ran up to grab the door and open it to talk to O.J. or get him out of there for some reason or other, and O.J. was still in the car with his own gun.
What do we know about the Al Cowlings? What came over him?
He was a lifelong friend of O.J.'s. They've known each other. They played together in high school.
Yeah, but why did he go on this run with O.J.?
Because he was the kind of friend
who was stupid.
Yes, not only was he stupid, but he was loyal to the point of lunacy. Whatever O.J. ever wanted him to do, that's what he did. Wherever O.J. wanted him to be, that's where he was.
Oh, so he was his Ralph.
Yes.
All right.
He, I guess, credited O.J. with giving him the lifestyle that he enjoys today. Right. O.J., as I said, played with him in high school, encouraged him to come to USC.
Yeah.
And then got him on the Buffalo Bills.
I see. So they were very good friends.
And they even ended their career together in San Francisco.
Right.
When O.J. retired, he decided to retire. And in his comments to the press, O.J. said he and Al were going to just get into a mobile home and grab a couple of beautiful women and travel across the country. They had never done that before. So Al has been in his life, all of his life. They had started this social club in high school, and O.J. would even pay the dues for Al when Al couldn't come up with it, even though it was only 25 cents.
Well, they ought to
was
take
very impressive to him.
They ought to take this guy and give him a couple of years too for aiding and abetting.
Oh, absolutely. He was released on $25,000 bail. At least that's what he put up. The bond was $250,000,
right.
And the police were very upset with his participation. Here is Commander. What is the guy's name?
Commander Riker.
Police commander from the LAPD, David
Hasselhoff.
Or Gaskin. And here's what he had to say on Friday evening after O.J. was arrested.
Okay.
And taken into custody.
We actually called him on the cellular phone, that's correct, and had to call him back several times. As you know, cell phones in this region go down from time to time, but he also hung up on us several times. And, of course, there was a busy signal frequently also.
Yes, apparently it was O.J.'s love of the telephone that got him into trouble. That's how they found him.
Yeah, you see, I thought that O.J. had called the police to surrender. It turned out they had his mobile phone line.
What happened was he was just making call after call after call on his mobile phone.
Who was he calling?
They didn't give a list of who he had called.
Maybe he's calling his agent, checking his messages.
But that's the way they were able to track him. They tapped in on the phone line once they got the number, and they just followed him, you know, and they could draw circles on a map to see where he was going and then just zero in on him. And once they got that, they started calling him. He called them. They had conversations going back and forth after that.
Right.
But O.J. and the phone...
The phone will do you in.
I don't know what he's doing. He's not thinking.
I just wish I knew who he was calling.
Live girls.
Yeah, 1-900-LIVE.
970 Live Girls.
Now, there was a period of time where a lot of police officers rushed to the condo of Nicole Simpson right after they determined that O.J. was not turning himself in. And I heard at one point that they thought it was a hoax, that a man sounding like O.J. Simpson had called the home of his dead wife and talked to her father on the phone, claiming to be O.J. and saying that he was coming there to see his children for the last time.
Right.
Now, I have not gotten it clear in my head. Was that O.J. or was it not? Because those might have been some of the calls that he was making.
My head is unclear, too.
At one point, I heard it was a hoax, and then I read something today about it being actually... It was real, that it was O.J., but he just never showed up at the house.
I hear you.
This is the commander again explaining how angry he is at Al Collins for taking part in O.J.'s attempted escape.
We actually called him on the cellular.
That's the same.
Wrong one.
First, Mr. Collins' activities were criminal. Second, they absolutely interfered, obstructed, and caused a problem in our efforts to take Mr. Simpson into custody.
I understand that even once he left the car, he was a very agitated man who only intensified the stress around that whole situation. So they were not happy with him at all. And he will have to face charges.
I wish I had seen it. I would like to see O.J. drive around with a gun to his head.
Richard Cardassian is another O.J. friend. In fact, O.J. was at his house on the night, or, you know, this Friday night. He was there with his lawyer. They were planning for O.J. to surrender when O.J. made off in Al's car. But they found, Richard, I guess, was the guy who found the suicide note.
Right.
And he read it to the public. This was the letter O.J. left to us.
Us, me and you.
Yes.
Right.
Here's a bit of it.
First, everyone understand, I had nothing to do with Nicole's murder.
So why are you running?
I loved her, always have, and always will. If we had a problem, it's because I loved her so much. As a last wish, please, please, please leave my children in peace. Their lives...
Who's going to bother your children?
...will be tough enough. I've had a good...
He's worried about his children, but he's killing their mother.
...life. I'm proud of how I lived. My mama taught me to do unto others. I treated people the way I wanted to be treated. I've always tried to be up and helpful.
So I made one mistake.
So why is this happening? I'm sorry for the Goldman family. I know how much it hurts.
No, you don't. You're going to know in a couple of months when you get the gas chamber how much it hurts.
It hurts a lot worse than you can imagine.
Mama taught me to do unto others with a shovel, as you would have them undo to you with a shovel.
That is one other piece of information that I have to correct. We were saying on Friday, in fact, it was reported in some of the papers that the murder weapon had been found, and it was this military-style shovel. Well, now they say that they have no murder weapon, but they think the murder weapon was some sort of substantial knife.
Yes. I'm glad you corrected that, Robin.
So anyway, O.J. Simpson will be arraigned today on 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances which could draw the death penalty.
Wow, this is wild. It's fun.
Oh, genius.
Isn't it fun, though, in a way? Come on, don't tell me it isn't.
I can't get enough information.
I know. We're glued.
I was supposed to go out to dinner with some friends. I couldn't leave home because O.J. was on the road.
I had to go to sleep. I was so overstimulated.
You did mention that it was stupid of NBC to cut away from the Knicks game to cover the O.J. Simpson fugitive experience.
If NBC was the only station on the dial, the only place we get, like in England, you get one channel, you would say, okay, they had to cut away, or at least if they'd gone in the lower left hand of your corner of the TV screen and put a box with the chase.
But wouldn't that be distracting as well?
Yes.
And maybe make people tune away?
Absolutely, but I'm saying if you had one channel, maybe that's what you have to do.
Okay.
But this is a case where 900 channels are on the dial. Even the E! Network was running this.
Is that right?
Yes.
I didn't check with them.
Surprise. Well, no one does. That's why they have us on every night. That's why they tape them in here with robot cameras. And I don't like this particular robot right here. He looks like the Terminator. But the point is, you can't have a game and all of a sudden go away. They learned that during the Heidi game of the Jets World Championship.
Yeah,
season.
you just stop the game then. The whole idea is that people want to be with the game every minute.
It's an outrage. So who is
You asked me who was in charge of making that decision.
Yeah, I got to know the genius's name. Wait a second. No, make the timpani. Here she's going to give the name. What's the matter with you?
All right, here are the names. There are 2 names given credit for this decision.
Boy, head should roll.
Andy Lack, who is the president of NBC News.
It's Warren Littlefield. Go ahead, come on.
And Dick Ebersol.
Dick Ebersol.
The president of NBC Sports.
He makes more bad decisions, Dick Ebersol, than anybody on the planet. What was his last decision?
Throughout the game, deciding when to shift to Simpson. Ebersol was at the game, sitting courtside.
Oh, well, he could see the whole game.
And was on the portable phone nonstop with Andy Lack. And the 2 of them would determine when it was time to break into the game.
What was the last decision that Dick Ebersol made? Wasn't he in on the Letterman thing?
Well, he was the one who decided that they should fire Jane Pauley and bring in Deborah Norville.
That was it. And he said, I take full responsibility. This guy can't make a decision. I think his head is clogged. Isn't he married to Susan St. James?
Yes, he is.
Stay at home with her and have kids. Dick Ebersol just called me. He wants to move the Yankees to Albany. Dick Ebersol.
He's a brilliant man.
I tell you, they're all such geniuses, aren't they? They all know what they're doing. God love them. TV would be so dynamic if you got rid of some of these guys. Tell them to all retire. Get some fresh blood in there.
The final question is, was it right to give that much coverage to O.J.?
Of course it's right. Anything that interests the American public is right to cover. We are interested in this case. Absolutely. It was compelling television. It is television's job to cover what is of interest to us.
When was the last time you wanted to stay at home to watch television on a Friday night?
I know people who went out Friday night, of course not expecting that this would be on. They want to kick themselves in the head for missing this.
I'd missed it.
I was asleep and missed it.
I was out having dinner, and then I went to see a play. It was a nice play, but it wasn't as good as O.J. on TV.
No, of course not.
But
you know, this was more fun, and you tell me what you think. I think this is more fun than when Jack Ruby shot Oswald on TV.
Well, I didn't think that was fun.
Oh, that was tremendous. What do you mean that wasn't fun? That was exciting.
You know, I missed that, too.
Did you really? You were at a play, weren't you? You were at the dinner.
I was upstairs, and my brother started screaming in the basement where the TV was.
No, that's a nice place to put a TV. Where the chains
Well, yeah, we were usually chained to a wall.
That's the basement.
Started screaming, and I went running down. What? We've been sitting in front of the TV for days, and then I leave, and something happens. It was when they were carrying Oswald out of that one building, transferring him to another building, and Jack Ruby thrust himself forward and shot.
That was great television.
I've only ever seen it on the replay.
Right. Great television. Not as good as this.
Well, it was over way too quick.
Yeah.
I like the suspense when you draw it out.
Not
like
well
OJ
planned.
did.
Right.
OJ knows television. He should be a television executive.
He knows. He should do this every week. They should let him out of prison so we go chase him again.
But speaking of the Knicks, they did play this weekend, and now the series is all tied up again.
Who do you think's going to win, really?
It really could go either way. Looking at them last night, they should have been blown out.
The Knicks.
They were not playing well. And in the fourth quarter, it seemed that the only person who could sink a basket was John Starks.
That's right. The fourth quarter proved to be John Starks, all John Starks.
Yeah.
But, by the way, I noticed that was a non-committal answer.
No, I'm thinking in my head now, because after last night I said, you know...
Well, stop thinking in your head. You know that's bad for the show.
I'm sorry. Do I think they have it in them to pull this together? I was trying to determine from the expressions on their faces. So I took this clip of Charles Oakley, one of the prominent players on the team, to see how he was feeling about the whole thing. And let's listen.
I was thinking in my head about the same thing, and I don't know.
Well, sometimes I think on my feet. Go on. Play Charles Oakley.
Bowie. All right, here we go.
I always thought we have a chance. Like I said, we look at the clock at the end of the game, see who got the most points. But I maybe thought he was gonna take a three and just go for the win.
Charles Oakley sounds amazing. Where is my tape of the black guy?
Like you said before, that drug thing, we can't rely on it.
Wow, I got to do a.
Who is the real Charles Oakley? Can you tell?
All right, see if you can tell who's Charles Oakley and who's the other guy.
Well, I said like this here.
I always thought we have a chance. Like I said, we look at the clock.
And then people say, he's done it. They gave the drugs. Well, I don't bet people lie on it.
In the game, still got the most points, but I maybe thought he was gonna take a three and just go for the win.
I agree with him, I think.
I thought basketball players went to college.
Oh, he was straight A student.
They all went. Some of them even graduated.
Some of their teachers were found dead and unconscious. No, I got to tell you, I thought that the Houston Rockets would blow away the Knicks in 5. It would take 5 games to do it in.
Well, they certainly haven't done that.
No, they haven't. I don't think the Rockets have been playing their game. I think the Knicks are playing as good as they can play. I think, what's his name? The center is a little off on the Knicks.
Patrick Ewing?
Patrick Ewing. But I'll tell you something. I'm surprised by how close it is. I still say, with the advantage of the home court tonight, I believe Houston will win, and I will collect my $500 from Fafa Fohai. And I believe so much in my bet that I'm willing to make the following bet.
What?
If the Knicks win,
yes,
I will accept your gas in my face. I'll put my face right next to your butt, 3 inches.
Right, I don't have to lean my cheek against your butt.
No, a cheek has to touch cheek. Your cheek has to be, because how else can the guy, your cheek has to be resting on my butt cheek.
I can't do that.
You're a pussy. You don't believe in your team.
I believe in my team, but I believe that your gas is way worse than... You're really bad. You're as bad as you've ever been this last month.
If you want to bet on your team, if you want to do a manly bet, put your cheek... I'll have to put my cheek on your butt.
What are you having for dinner on Wednesday?
And you... Come on, Baba Booey, let's bet.
No way.
Come on.
A minute?
A minute.
No,
but I'd have to go through the same thing.
It's just not... Yeah, but I'm not...
You smell horrible.
Or is it...
Don't tell me you smell like roses.
No, but you haven't...
Come on, pussy.
I am.
But you will do the same thing for him. If he wins, you will accept his game.
Absolutely. I have to go through the same torture.
See, the only thing that's got me going here is, now that we have the cameras in here, the idea of owning a piece of videotape with Wolf looking at my butt.
Looking at my cheek up against
I know,
your butt.
it's very enticing. But I just can't. I
can't believe you.
Boy, you think the Knicks are going to win, don't you?
I do think they're going to win, but
So what are you afraid of?
Because I keep thinking of that same piece of tape that you own, of me being on the back end of it. I just don't want to be part of that.
To me, it's much worse to lose $500 than to have that.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget Robin's putting up the money. So really,
he has nothing to lose.
So why don't you put yourself on the line a little bit?
You could risk something.
I did. I risked repeating.
Oh, but you're going to have to do that anyway.
Boy, that's a sick bet.
Come on, let's do it.
Suppose you win, Gary. Just think of it.
Ball wind into my face.
Chances are, under that pressure, I won't even be able to perform.
Well, when you feel one coming on, you come running in and go, ball.
Yeah, you don't have to do it on demand.
Yeah, I can't do it on demand. I'm making my pants. That's much worse.
All right, I'm going to sleep on this because we have till Wednesday. I'm going to sleep on this because I'm thinking
think about it tomorrow.
I'm thinking about
All right, very good. That's true. You have till Wednesday to make your decision.
And people, when you see Gary, urge him to take a bet.
Be a great bet.
The idea of being able
full minute. Right on a guy's butt cheek. It's a tough bet, but if you believe in your team, I believe in the Houston Rockets.
This has gone way past teams.
It's up to you. I'm ready to take the bet. Take the win, Gary.
Take the win.
I'll be back with a decision tomorrow.
You know what your problem is? You keep thinking about you taking the win from me. The Knicks are going to win. You have no problem. I'm going to be taking the win from you.
Got to think about it both ways. It's a 50-50 chance now. It's up in the air. All the cliches.
It's going to be. Listen, there's no greater embarrassment than Gary's butt cheek. Of course, with his pants on.
Now you
right. And you blowing wind into my face and me having to stay there for a full minute. A full minute. Because if you don't stay for the full minute, you got to go through the whole thing again.
Oh. You pull away?
Are you allowed to hold your fingers over your nose?
No, sir.
I don't think.
The whole bouquet.
You got to take the whole bouquet.
All right, I'll be back with a decision tomorrow.
All right.
What is wrong with the San Francisco Giants? They have decided to sign Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah, now he would have
How much does he have to do to let people know he doesn't want to play football?
He has to shoot his wife.
No. I just have to. I don't have to do anything like that. I just have to think about it. I'm really torn about it.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about Darryl Strawberry.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with Darryl Strawberry? What are you doing back in here?
I apologize. I thought you were talking about me. You have to do some commercials, I was told.
Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't we just finish the news and then they can run the commercial?
Okay.
I'm really tired.
Done.
I mean, I don't know what to do. I can't fit all of them in.
I just wanted to mention that Darryl Strawberry has found a new home in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So they've decided to take him on. They think he can boost their offense. They think he can hit a few balls for them. Martina Navratilova is about to start her final Wimbledon singles tourney.
Oh, is this it?
Yes, she's retiring. So this will be the last time she appears at Wimbledon in the singles matches.
It's hard to believe because whenever I used to watch Martina Navratilova, I'd always think, gosh, she's going to go on forever. I mean, she's such a strong tennis player. It's like she's just in incredible shape, and now it's finally happened, you know? She just sucks.
It happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, it doesn't happen to us in radio.
John Cicada, is that how you say that guy's name?
Yeah, I guess.
That singer? He dislocated his shoulder on Sunday, falling through a hole in the stage while entertaining World Cup soccer fans in Chicago. But what a trooper, Howard. He sang with his head barely above the stage level before he was taken to the hospital.
Oh.
So he fell, but he kept singing.
Do we have his record? 'Cause that's got to be more entertaining than his... I can reenact that. He crashed through the stage.
Yeah, he was, I guess, dancing around and singing and fell through this hole on the stage, but he continued to sing.
With his head poking through.
With his head just above the level of the stage.
And then the ambulance came and took him away?
Yes.
Could you do that? I couldn't.
No, I think I'd stop immediately.
That's amazing. Frank Stallone, the great Frank Stallone once did that. He was performing over in England. He fell off the stage during This Is the End. This is the end. Dun, dun, dun. He fell off the stage, and I think he kept going, broke his arm.
No. You have it all wrong. He was down in Florida.
Yeah.
And he fell off the stage and broke both his ankles.
Yeah, did he keep singing, though?
No, I think he stopped.
I guess it was the end.
Oh, he was reaching into the crowd, I think.
Yeah, they pulled him off.
He got pulled off?
Down and they broke his ankle.
Flowers for me.
Oprah Winfrey sold a bunch of her old clothes to make some money for charity, I guess.
For 10.
2,000 pieces of clothing, or 2,000 people showed up and raised $150,000. There was 1,000 pieces of her clothing, ranging in size from 8 to 22.
I heard they were all bacon stained.
They went for from $10 to $1,000.
Right.
And what is this? Kristen Path?
Kristen Path?
Path.
You must take the Christian path too, Robin.
No.
Like the rest of us.
She's the 26-year-old bass player for the band Hole, the Courtney Love band, who is the widow of Kurt Cobain.
Why she got to name her band that? That's disgusting. Hole. Which hole is she talking about? The hole women have or the hole we all have?
The hole they keep falling through. Kristen now has died of a drug overdose.
Really?
Yeah.
She's lucky to be around.
Seattle police say a purse containing syringes was found nearby.
John Cicada ought to name himself Hole, because he keeps falling for one.
He died in a bathtub.
So Hole is not whole anymore.
No.
Half.
They did a reinvestigation of Jimi Hendrix's death over in England as well, and Scotland Yard announced over the weekend.
Yeah, it turns out he didn't choke on his own vomit, he choked on Jackie's vomit.
But it was indeed choking on vomit.
But O.J. did it, right?
Nope. No sinister plot.
Really?
He simply died from choking on his own vomit.
It's not too embarrassing.
And no one will be implicated.
I'm sure the cops were real sympathetic when they opened the door and saw a guy choking on his own vomit.
Well, he wasn't choking at the time he was found. He was pretty much through.
Hey, look. Guy choked on his own vomit. Hey, great guitar player. Oh, I'll lay down next to him. You take a picture of us. Weekend at Jimmy's. Very good, Robin.
That's it.
Oh, that's what you think. We got to do it again tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll get into this controversy that's been raised in the Catholic Church. There's a professor who says that priests, back in the old days, used to marry same-sex couples all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear him prove that.
He says he has proof.
Yeah. I don't believe that. I don't buy that at all.
Well, I'll tell you about it tomorrow.
Now you've upset everyone. All right, let me do a couple of plugs, and then I got to get out of here. Jackie Platinum Mottling. This Friday, June 24th, Jackie's going to do a great show at the Comedy Loft in Nanuet, New York. He comes to life there. That's his place.
You know what? It's so cold in here, my mood ring won't work.
And it's so hot in here. I'm going to kill myself. I got to get out of the room. It is so hot in here, I'm leaving.
I have no blood in my fingers.
Thursday night, June 30th, he'll be at Chuckles Comedy Club in Mineola, New York. To order Jackie's Wild Comedy CD, it's $10, free shipping, well worth the price. Call 1-800-323-5464. Our own very funny Jackie. Our own very funny Fred Norris Band, Saturday at the Roost. At the Roost 3, North Bergen, New Jersey. Boy, Fred on tour. Sure. Don't miss Boy Gary this Saturday at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, hosting a block party before the Firebird football game.
When do you think you will see Fred in concert?
Oh, I don't care. I'll tell you, I don't care. It's so hot in here, I got to get out of the desert. Don't miss Stuttering John's band opening up for King's X. Wow, they're great, King's X.
Yeah?
A great opening.
And Motley Crue at the Starplex in Dallas. For more information, call 609-546-STUPID. If you're planning a wedding or summer party, you need a great DJ, call Scott the Engineer's Rocket Entertainment in the New York tri-state area. Call 718-BAG-5040. Nice flute music there. Sounds like the opening to our E-show. Yeah, I said, use rock music. I want you to use something like The Cult. They said, yeah, we'll listen to The Cult. We'll come up with something like it.
Sound like.
They got a guitar and a flute, it sounds like, in the open to this show.
I did try to pay attention to the music, but there was too much going on.
I'll bring it in tomorrow. We can listen to it.
Okay.
I got to go back now and lecture everyone.
Again?
Again. Now, it's good. It's fun. Tune into the E! Show tonight at 8 o'clock. That should be a good time. I don't know what we'll choose from today's show, but there's plenty of stuff. We'll see you tomorrow. 96.